Yeah, it's cool. Really. Go get that smoked herring paste next door.
You're just saying that.
Nah, I mean it. But you'll save more if you shop at Aldi first.
You'll always be my first shop.
We love you.
What about me?
We love you too, Pete. Aldi. Good. Different.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. We're gonna miss the game if we don't get this TV working.
At Sip and Save, you won't be getting mixed signals from us. Enter at sipandsave.com.au today and you and a mate could be winning a VIP game day experience. Just snap up any Great Northern Super Crisp 30-pack for $59.99 for your chance to win. There's also Johnny Walker Red Label Scotch or Smirnoff Red Vodka 700ml bottles for just $43.99 each. You can expect more from Sip and Save. More deals, more range, more service. Terms and conditions apply. Prices may vary in country areas.
Sip and Save.
There's more in store.
For over 3 decades, Regent Homes has been synonymous with crafting architecturally bespoke homes, each one a testament to Regent Homes' unwavering commitment to design, quality and sophistication. And because Regent Homes is a South Australian family-owned company, they understand more than anyone what it takes to build a family home. Experience Regent Homes' award-winning display homes at Lightsview and Blackwood Park. Innovative design, elevated living. Visit regenthomes.com.au.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny this afternoon, partly cloudy tomorrow, 32. With the 4 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
The exceptional sale is on at Berkowitz. Save 25 to 50% off all Berkowitz furniture. Ends soon.
There's been another death on our roads. A 19-year-old man has died in a 2-car crash at Rowey, south of Port Augusta. It happened on Horrocks Pass Road just before 8 this morning. The other driver, a 55-year-old woman, is in hospital. The state road toll for 2024 is now 17. There's been a house fire at Evanston Gardens. Sophie Clark from the MFS says they were called to Grey Crescent around midday.
On arrival, crews saw smoke coming from the rear and the side of the single-storey home and located a fire towards the rear of the property. There was one occupant who had self-evacuated on arrival and was treated on scene by SAS.
The countdown is on to the Matildas at Adelaide Oval. The match against China will be played May 31, with tickets on sale this Friday. Player Michelle Heyman says it's amazing to finally see the Oval for herself.
And on behalf of all the Matildas, we are so grateful to be on home soil again, to be here in Adelaide, to be able to do our thing, especially just before the Olympics. This is going to be a massive send-off for us, and we would love all the support that we can get from all of you Adelaide fans.
Meantime, the coach of the Matildas says he only became aware of allegations levelled against Captain Sam Kerr today. The 30-year-old has been charged with the racially aggravated harassment of a police officer in the UK in January last year. She's made a brief appearance in a London court, pleading not guilty. The ex-husband of Kathleen Folbig and father of their 4 children has died of a heart attack. Craig Folbig was rushed to hospital on Saturday but was unable to be stabilised. Kathleen Folbig spent 20 years in jail over the deaths of their children but has since been pardoned and her convictions overturned. Mr Folbig's lawyer says he never stopped believing his children had been murdered. The federal opposition insists nuclear power is Australia's only credible pathway to net zero emissions. Coalition MPs are getting closer to releasing their long-awaited energy policy. It'll push for nuclear reactors to be built on the sites of existing coal power plants. Liberal leader Peter Dutton says it'll be more cost-effective than the current transition to renewables.
You can replace the coal-fired generators with the small modular reactor or the bigger modular reactors. The latest technology, it's zero emissions, it's lower cost, and it means that you can distribute the energy with the existing grid network. And that comes at $1 trillion less cost than what Labor's proposing.
Health insurers are already beginning to lock in hikes to premiums after the federal government announced the approved increase for this year. Labor has given the green light for an average rise of just over 3%, but insurers aren't required to stick to that figure. NIB says it'll hike premiums by 4.1%. Increased screen time could be robbing the average 3-year-old of more than 1,100 adult words a day. A new study has monitored communication between parents and children from the age of 1 to 3. Telethon Kids Institute Senior Research Officer Dr Mary Bruce says the average child in the study spent nearly 3 hours in front of a screen every day.
So what we found is that for every minute of screen time, these 3-year-olds were hearing 7 fewer adult words
speaking 5 fewer words themselves, and engaging in 1 less conversation each day.
Now turning to 5AA's sport, Jimmy Webster will front the AFL Tribunal later this hour. The Saint is facing a lengthy ban for his head-high bump on North Melbourne's Jai Simpkin. Dustin Martin could miss Richmond's opening round clash against Gold Coast despite being cleared of damage to his calf following a knock at training. Minwoo Lee has qualified for this week's Arnold Palmer Invitational after finishing runner-up at the PGA Tour event in Florida. The NBL is interested in bringing basketball star Patty Mills home after he was waived by NBA team the Atlanta Hawks. And Jason Kelsey, brother of Travis, has officially retired from the NFL. Now checking 5AA traffic.
No better time or place to jump in at Jayco than at Jayco Adelaide's brand new West Beach dealership.
G'day there at Edinburgh North, a crash on a slow road near the Woodford Road roundabouts. North Adelaide, traffic lights flashing there, O'Connell Street at 10th Street and Port Adelaide boom gates down there, Port of Expressway near Eastern Parade. Slow going at Ottawa at the moment, Grange Junction Road near Rowey Street with cameras Kings Road, Paralowie and Anzac Highway at Karata Park. Need new tyres? Get 30% off all Kumo tyres at My Car. Hurry, Anne's on the 10th of March. Purchase online, over the phone or in store at My Car today. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Sunny this afternoon, partly cloudy tomorrow 32, Thursday mostly sunny 31 and Friday 35. Right now it's 33 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Thank you, I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, a Matildas match confirmed for Adelaide, but the announcement is marred by superstar Sam Kerr's court appearance, accused of racially abusing a police officer. Private health premiums going up, we have the numbers. Customer loyalty programs, the perks and the pitfalls. And first pictures of Kate Middleton since her hospital stay. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 now.
The news and issues that matter to South Australia. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA. The 5AA Sports Show.
Get around the little bar!
Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
Pick the beauty!
Good afternoon, 6 minutes after 4. Geez, an exciting day for sporting fans here in Adelaide. While we know it's set to be a landmark day for the bump in the footy world. Let's get into it all. Stephen Rowe, Tim Jennifer, good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks, Sam, and welcome everybody to this magnificent week that we're going to be having here in Adelaide. It is just on fire. I know we haven't had any rain, but I tell you what, it just makes you feel good these warm days. Just absolutely love it. I welcome Stephen Rowe. Hello, Rowey.
Well, Timmy, we're here and there's a lot to get through.
There is.
Where are you going to start?
Yeah, I'm going to start with Tuesday morning. I normally take the twins to school. Always got a twin story. And this is the logic of twins. I loved it. We're in the car listening to 5AA. The ad comes on for the Heart Foundation. And there's the line in it that says, walking's the winner. Yeah. And, you know, every time you walk, walking's the winner. Trying to get people active and all the rest of it. In the back, I hear Xavier, walking's the winner? No, it's not. Running is, Papa. What great logic.
Oh,
yeah, running's winning. Oh, I loved it. I said, well, that's a good point, mate. That's a good point.
When your voice comes on, what do?
Oh,
Have they heard you read ads yet?
No, not yet. Not with me in the car.
Yeah.
But when they were a bit younger, they saw me on the Sandford broadcast, and they were screaming out, Papa, it's me. And of course, I'm not arguing. I'm not answering, so they didn't understand. So, yeah, that is funny. You'll get a bit of that with Rory, don't worry.
Things that come out of little heads.
Correct.
And little mouths.
Well, I tell you what, it has been a big week. You're right. On the back of Sam Powell-Pepper last week, you would have thought that nobody in the AFL playing in the community series would even attempt probably a bump.
Not the next week.
No. But Jimmy Webster has had a little brain fade and just launched himself, taken Jai Simpkin out. Now, it's been the talk of the town, of course, on the back of last week, and now what's going to happen? Now, the difference in opinion and the range of penalty is quite large.
Well, he's a Tasmanian, and they enter the comp in 2027. Some are saying that's when he'll return. No, but that's a joke.
I'll give you that one. I don't mind that.
No, but it's a joke.
But yes, some are quite hard. So what we'll do, we'll have a listen to the whole different range of media opinions.
No, it was a dirty act. It was a dirty act to hurt a player after he got rid of the ball.
Players don't go in the game making those sort of actions voluntarily, so it was one of those ones that was taken a little bit by surprise.
I mean, this is a throwback to even a time before you blokes were playing. This happened regularly throughout my era. Yeah, he's in trouble, Jimmy. Jimmy knows he's in trouble.
He just decided in that moment that he would try and inflict as much pain and hurt onto Simpkin, and he nailed it. He flushed it.
Find me a player, guys. Find me a player that thinks that situation is actually okay.
It's an action that we don't need in our game and we don't want it in our game. It was really clear to me it was going to be going straight to the tribunal, and that's where they've sent it.
So it comes down to the penalty now. I'm not sure there's going to be much difference between 5 or 10 weeks impact it has on the playing group.
Jimmy Webster's going to be a big whack. I mean, I can't see logically how it could be. I reckon 8's about the median that it would be.
If you look at the Webster one compared to the Palpepper, there are differences, and I think they would be taken into account when we come to a sanction.
I was heading in this morning thinking 6, because I think, like the Richter scale, the rise from 4 to 6 that's a seismic shift.
The community expectations and the understanding as we go in from year to year, they are changing, and the AFL, we have to be at the forefront of that.
It's going to be landmark, isn't it? I think it's going to be landmark for this 2024 season.
So it's 4:30 tonight. You'll hear it here first, because as soon as we know, you'll know. Listening to all of those learned people, I think it sounds like it's 6.
Well, Waitley went 6. Brownie said anywhere between 5 and 10. I went 8.
You went 8.
Bucks went 8. We'll see what happens, because I was probably comparing it directly to Sam.
Yep.
And I think that a lot of people have done that because it's so hot and the new bar they set. So if they're going to set that new bar, it's everything they don't want.
Oh, it was late, a little bit late. He jumped.
No
charged him with
intent for the footy.
None.
So you go, it's got to be at least twice as bad. I think more than likely you might be right, 6 or 7. But we spoke to our boss Sam, and he said 9. So there you go. So
that's what I mean. Everyone's got an opinion.
Those sort of numbers are coming off anyway. Either way, he's going to be spending a significant amount of time out of football. So yeah, it's not one that I think we want to see a lot of this year.
No,
and that's the issue. So
and it won't be the last.
No, indeed. Alistair Clarkson, we know we spoke a fair bit about this last night. Just in the clash, he got upset, of course. His skipper is knocked out. He's had previous concussion issues. We know that Alistair can fire up. He's had that in him as a player and a coach in the past. He's come out and he's attacked Webster, and he's really gone hard on it. So
well, he's protected his players, hasn't he?
Well, that was that would be
that was his excuse or his reason.
That would be the preface for doing it.
The preface.
Yeah. So let's have a listen to the. It's got the AFL CEO, and he was on Fox 360, right? He gives his thoughts on it, because he's got to be careful because it hasn't gone through the process right. Then you've got current Gold Coast coach Damien Hardwick and his thoughts on it about being protective of your players, and then you've got Robbo's thoughts on what should happen from here. So let's have a listen to that montage.
Well, first of all, I think senior coaches or officials approaching players at breaks in play isn't something that we want to see anyway. I think when you overlay the what's been reported, it's language that Alistair's already come out and said it's inappropriate. It's something I don't like, and we don't need it in our game.
Do you suspect that he will face some sort of punishment for what he said?
We don't want to get ahead of the process, so what we do is we write a please explain, give Alistair the opportunity to come back to us. We'll talk to St Kilda, and once we've got all that information, we'll look at that, weigh it up against what our rules are, and then deal with it that way.
The language he used is obviously not on, and he accepts that, but when they're your players, they're your boys, they're like your children, you get very protective of those guys.
Think of any other major sport around the world where one of the senior most, respected figures uses, we're not going to say the language, we're not even going to say it, but you should know it by now, using that language, and the league that they're playing in says, no, that's okay, you can be homophobic. And Clarkson might say, no, it wasn't homophobic, but it's a homophobic word. If you made a racist comment, Jared, would the AFL come down heavy on him? Of course they would. What's the difference between racism and homophobic language?
That's
so educate me. That is
okay.
So educate me.
Okay.
If Webster's not a gay man,
yeah.
Okay. So if he's not, how is that offensive for Clarker to be saying that to him?
So if you put it into,
is it the people that are around that might have heard?
There's that as well.
Okay.
And if you do any sort of HR or training and what's not, and they come in and tell you about what you can and can't say, sexual harassment training and the like, it's sometimes not even about the conversation you're having with one person. It can be about the others that are around
that are listening. That's
correct.
Right.
So you can be affected there. If you put it into racism terms, they often talk about the language of casual racism or latent racism. So you're sort of saying things that you think are okay, but they're not. And I think this is where that fits. I think it's like he said something to in an upset manner to a guy that's perpetrated a bump on his player. So he's going hard, and the language he's chosen, which he now knows and has, said not appropriate, is probably casual homophobic.
Okay, so the old adage of what's said on the field should stay on the field has been out for a long time, hasn't it? It has been outdated. So my question is, how sanitised and pure do we want our game day? How pure do we want that game day? Where you're in the heat of the battle, things can happen, things can be said, whatever happened, turn the other cheek or, but that's okay, I get it. It was what if you had a set of dog act?
Do you know what?
Is that offending a dog?
Yeah, you know what? And I always...
You know where I'm coming from? I don't know how sanitised...
I'll tell you why...
We want the game. And what penalty do we want to Clarko? If he said sorry and it was offensive, for me that's good enough. Would have been the same with Tex. But again, I'm outdated.
You know where all this...
So people want 6 weeks. If Tex got 6, they want him to get 6.
Do you know where it's all changed? To your point about where's this going to go and what happened to what stays on the field, set on the field stays on the field.
When did that die?
Well, when it became a workplace.
Correct.
The minute it became a workplace, all workplace rules have come in. Okay. That's what's happened.
Wow, how good's that?
It's not. It's not.
Woohoo!
It's not the area we played in.
How good's that?
It's not the. It's not the area we played in.
So are we better for it?
Well, some would say yes.
Most would say yes, I think.
So,
bar dinosaurs like me.
Yeah, I think
most would say yes.
And if you, especially on the racism side of it, you would say things that were said in the 70s and 80s and even the 90s were just not acceptable. All that's come out. We still have issues. And we see
Sadly,
that every season.
Yep.
Unfortunately, come out.
Well, there was one in the NRL over there in Vegas.
So you go on, we want that out, but on the field, you'd say it's probably improved immensely since that time.
Well,
because of talking about and educating that sometimes these things that you think are okay aren't.
No, of course.
And this is one of those
that's
probably testing moments, I think, for both Alistair and the AFL on how they handle it.
Well, okay. Taylor Walker got 6.
Yeah.
Do we want to see Alistair Clarkson get 6 for that comment? Because some people are calling for that.
Yeah, they will assess that.
Well, I'm saying no.
Yeah. Well, that's what...
But am I an outrider?
That's where...
Do you want him to get 6?
No. I think Andrew Dillon is going... He said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take it through this process. But there may be a penalty of sort. They may come up with a penalty of sorts.
So he won't coach a game because of that comment in anger?
I didn't say that. But there will be a penalty of sorts. So
if Taylor Walker got 6, should he get 6? What's worse, racism or homophobic slurs? Aren't they same?
Well, they are same. But it was about whether it was...
Well, there's the precedence there.
Or there. Yeah, so that's for them to take it through their process and what they...
So he's got to please explain.
He has
So now he has to explain his actions. You can't. It's audioed. It's there. There's witnesses. He said it. So that's clear. Now they've got to hand down a penalty. Will it be a negotiated outcome? We reckon our new management will be a little bit better at that.
Don't know.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
It's a one to watch, that's for sure. So, yeah. Please
let's
give us your feedback.
Let's get on to some good news.
Yeah, well, that's right. And the good news is the Matildas are coming to town. It's awesome. It's going to be May 31st. We've already had a unique home-style food text fly in. Big decision for Rowey on 31st of May. Will he watch the Matildas or 2 Melbourne clubs, Footscray and Collingwood, play that night? So there you go. There's a... Con's on to you straight away, but I reckon you'll watch the Matildas quite frankly. I think we'll be there. We'll make sure we're there.
That's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer. He knows that. Con knows that. He's only stirring. But it was fantastic news, and, it's one that you sort of jokingly said after we smoked Uzbekistan by, 10
when are they coming?
Whatever. You said, right, get on to the Premier. Yeah. I want them here. It's about time.
I told you to ring him.
It's been too long. You did. Got straight onto it. Look what's happened. We've got the Matildas coming to town, and here is the Premier.
The Matildas are the most popular team in the nation. It is the hottest ticket in the country. And now South Australians will be able to get access to it because of the partnership we've got between the state government and Football Australia.
There you go. So it's exciting. We're going to have him on, I think, after the 4:30 headlines. So we'll get the Premier on and have a good chat about how they were able to attract them here to Adelaide.
But that's the confidence I have now. I'm going to put it to our Premier. Are we easier to sell now? There was a time everyone bypassed us. Just flew over the top.
Well, especially concert-wise, yeah.
Taylor Swift did, so that's not a good example. We didn't have the money, maybe, I don't know. But sporting events, have a look at us. Have a look at our record under his Premier leadership.
Yeah, correct. It's been going quite well.
Bloody good.
This is a good win, this one. I think
great win.
I think also, just from the point of view of how much they impacted Australia in the World Cup here, but then transcending into the development at grassroots level and the like, and to continue our journey up the World Championship. We're at 12 at the moment in the world.
May the 31st, Adelaide Oval will be 5 times the last time they played here. 2019 we played Chile at High Marsh. What was it? 10,342.
Correct.
The biggest crowd at Adelaide Oval, 55,317. It was the first day of the second test of the Ashes Series 2017, and I was there.
I'll give you even bigger stat than that.
Those girls will beat that.
Here's an idea for you. So 2006 was the last time the Matildas came to Adelaide prior to that 2019 game, and that attracted 5,168. So we're probably going to be talking 50,000 at least, I reckon. So you've gone 10 times the amount. So that shows you just what that World Cup coming to Australia did for the game and for the Matildas itself. And I think for all young girls and boys to be inspired.
Yeah, well done. Have you say about that? We've got the Premier Unique Home Style Food Text. I like this one about a workplace. She said that AFL footy is now a workplace. Boys, different places of work, different rules. I'm one of the boys in blue. I'd imagine that he's saying he's a policeman.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm out in the public. Someone talks to me that way, I've just got to put up with it and turn the other cheek.
Yeah, right. He's talking about people on the public. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. But if a work colleague did it to him, there might be some issues.
Well, why is it different if a public person does it to him?
So that's their workplace and their particular job, as we know, is out in the public. So it's another challenge once again. It could take that to court if he wanted to, and say, look, that's slander, or it's in the like, or it's defamation. Or
here's Tezza from Henley Beach.
Okay.
He's a massive fan of mine. Row, would you call someone at FIVEAA that word a beep sucker?
Yeah.
Can we do it like that? Is that
it's as close as we'll get?
Well, you did it yesterday.
Sucker. And if you did, would sorry be enough, or would you lose your job? Well, if anybody did an atrocity to me like that, I don't know what I'd say. I've got it in me, put it that way.
There'd be a reason.
Tess, I've got it in me.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to ask everybody. I think Brecky did it this morning. They just said, who's your favourite national team at the moment? Are the Matildas exactly that? Is it the Socceroos? Is it the Australian cricket team?
They're mine.
I'll tell you, I got mine. Diamonds.
The Diamonds?
They don't lose, mate. They don't lose. They are unbelievable. And they can have pay disputes, you name it, and still win the tournament. They just are the best. And I think they're aptly named.
You would watch them before you'd watch the Matildas.
They're my favourite. I'm not saying I wouldn't watch both, but I'm just saying I love the Diamonds.
Who's your favourite national side right now? 8223 0000. We know, thanks to Steinborner Automotive, every caller that goes to air goes in the running to win that Benzina sports scooter, which is worth $8,500. And if you're watching on the Foodland live stream, it is sitting right behind Timmy G, and it's looking spectacular. We'll give that away in a couple of weeks, so get on the phone, 8223 0000. The Premier Peter Malinauskas, we've got Channel 7's Brian Taylor to join us, Mark Bosnich, Ned McHenry, and the Tribunal will give you full coverage from 4:30 once it begins for Jimmy Webster's hearing. 23 after 4.
Rowey and Timmy G on the FIVEAA Sports Show.
To celebrate the opening of the brand new state-of-the-art dealership at Agostino Mitsubishi Mawson Lakes, we'll be broadcasting live at the dealership Thursday, March 7th.
So come on down, check out the new Agostino Mitsubishi state-of-the-art showroom.
You can check out the entire range of Mitsubishis on offer with 10-year warranty and 10-year capped price servicing. Unreal.
We'll see you there Thursday, March the 7th, all thanks to Agostino Mitsubishi, Mawson Lakes, 571 Salisbury Highway, Mawson Lakes.
It's Edward here from Edwardstown Mazda. I can't tell the time yet, but I know it's running out to save on a 2023 Playton Mazda. If you come in now, you'll get the best deal ever on all 2023 Mazdas. I pinky promise. And remember, Edwardstown Mazda is the #1 destination for Mazda in SA. Numo umero, baby. Now play that jingle thing.
It's gotta be Edwardstown Mazda.
The deals are coming. Get ready because Afterpay Day is back, baby. March 14 to 17 is go time with up to 70% off top brands. Paid in full with Afterpay, in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Visit afterpay.com for full terms.
At Coles, attend Arvo Barbies or evening parties. With Doritos corn chip varieties, 150 to 170 gram bags. Down to just $3. Save $1.80. That's great value, hands down, at Coles.
Magic Millions SA Race Day is fast approaching. On Saturday, March the 9th, it's at Thomas Farms Race Course, Murray Bridge. If you haven't done a race, Murray Bridge.
It's great. Great day. Love it.
The SA 2-year-old Classic is a season highlight with a $200,000 prize on the line. That'll get some serious...
Oh, yeah. And get trackside from just $20 a person. That's unreal. Kids under 16 are free. How good's that? Then there's plenty to keep them entertained, like amusement rides. Farmer Darcy's Travelling Farm. I've got to see that.
Is that your Colts?
His name is Darcy, but I don't think he's travelling.
There's also time to grab, a seat on the bus. Check the website to see which stop is closest to you. And that's good fun as well.
Absolutely. It is great fun. Don't miss the Magic Millions SA Race Day. It's Saturday, this Saturday, March the 9th from 11 a.m, Murray Bridge Racing Club. Turn up on the day or visit murraybridge.com for tickets and details. Don't let the game play you. Stay in control and gamble responsibly.
Hi, I'm Tim Angove from Supercraft Bedding. We're a small batch manufacturer of high quality mattresses. We decided to advertise on 5AA. Whilst discovering and chatting about our journey and our history, it was mentioned to us how cool it was that we'd made a mattress for the Queen. We never thought of exploiting it, but Creative really wanted to bring that to front of mind. It certainly brought us a lot of sales, but also a few giggles along the way. When people were commenting and quoting our ads, we knew that it was 5AA that were really assisting our sales. I highly recommend small businesses, especially, to get in with 5AA. They're very much South Australian, just like us.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit 5AA.com.au and hit the Advertise With Us link for more information.
Large soy caramel mocha frappuccino with extra caramel.
Cut through the blah to hear more of what you want with Specsavers Advanced Hearing Technology. Book an appointment with our audiology professionals for high-definition sound at low Specsavers prices. Always follow the directions for use.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
27 minutes after 4, Peter Malinauskas, our Premier, to join us at 4:30. The Matildas are coming to town. We want to know, who's your favourite national side right now? 8223 0000. You might want to have your say on the Clarko penalty, if he's going to get one, and Jimmy Webster's tribunal hearing. It begins in a couple of minutes, so we'll keep you across it the whole way through. Let's check your traffic.
Crash at Elizabethville Carrefour, Main North Road near Fairfield Road. Heavy delays backed up to Judd Road and Yorktown Road, affecting all directions there. At Edinburgh North, a crash from the Slow Road to the Woodford Road roundabouts, and North Adelaide, traffic lights flashing O'Connell Street at 10th Street. Works at McGill at the moment, Penfold Road near Adelaide Street, speeds at 40 with the camera Lonsdale Road at Hallett Cove. Varicose veins can be uncomfortable. The Vein Institute can help with non-surgical treatments that have minimal downtime. Visit theveininstitute.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Let's go all the way to Mount Gambier. G'day, Doug.
G'day,
G'day, boys. How you going?
Excellent, buddy. What do you got for us?
All right. I just want to make a quick comment about the Webster business.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about whether some of these journos that have jumped on about almost as much as professional offence takers, like a lot of the social commentators and a lot of people that are ringing in, we need to ask, was Webster himself offended by it, firstly? And secondly, if Alistair Clarkson's comments, how would you feel if it was, say, your son that got hit like that, especially after what happened last year with Brayshaw? Yeah, especially after that, when the AFL's gone out of their way and said, guys, this is just not on, and this one's actually worse than that, you'd be pretty upset yourself, wouldn't you? You might say a few choice words more than what he has done. I know when he's done it in the heat of the moment, but he's done it to one of his boys, and he just feels a little bit protective about his boys, does Mr. Clarko. He's been a little bit like that, a bit of a hot potato over the years, but I actually can't blame him. And was Webster offended by his comments more to the point rather than everybody else?
Doug, great call.
Yeah, Doug, they'll go through all of that through that
Doug
process.
Is old school. Now, and again, Timmy worded it brilliantly, Doug. It's not whether he was offended. It's if there was players on that field that were offended, if there was trainers or doctors or physios in the vicinity that were offended, if there were other coaches that were offended.
I think the other point to it as well
That's the world we're in, Doug. I'm in your world, but...
Andrew Dillon said, I just don't like the look of coaches approaching opposition players in a heated exchange. It's not a great look. So there's that point straight away, is you can avoid that by not doing that. Do you remember the old Kevin Sheedy one? At the
slit the throat?
Remember the old slit the throat?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going right back there into a different era, but that's the sort of thing I suppose Andrew Dillon's going, well, we can avoid those sort of contacts if you just take that out. Don't go direct to him, because you probably are going to get upset and fired up, but I think he already had it in his bonnet. He was going.
Yeah, but again, how sanitised do we want to make this game?
Yeah, it's the new world, my friend. The new world.
4:30 headlines coming up. We're then going to speak to the Premier Peter Malinauskas, and Matildas are coming to Adelaide.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. An occupant has been treated at Evanston Gardens following a house fire. The ex-husband of Kathleen Folbig and father of their 4 children has died. Health insurers are already beginning to lock in hikes to premiums after the federal government announced the approved increase for this year. And in sport, all eyes are on the Tribunal as the Jimmy Webster hearing gets underway. Now checking 5AA traffic.
No better time or place to jump in at Jayco than at Jayco Adelaide's brand new West Beach dealership.
Crash at Elizabeth Carrefour, Main North Road near Fairfield Road. Heavy delays backed up to Judd Road and Yorktown Road, affecting all directions there. At Edinburgh North, a crash from the slow road to the Woodford Road roundabouts, and North Adelaide, traffic lights flashing O'Connell Street at 10th Street. Works in Miguel at the moment, Penfold Road near Adelaide Street, speeds at 40 with the camera Lonsdale Road at Howard Cove. Varicose veins can be uncomfortable. The Vein Institute can help with non-surgical treatments that have minimal downtime. Visit theveininstitute.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast mostly clear tonight, down to 19, sunny tomorrow 33. Right now it is 33. We'll have more news at 5 and as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
It is funny to think that just over 2 years ago, the extent to which Stephen Marshall was pilloried as the bread and circuses guy for saying we need a new entertainment centre, and the perception from Peter Malinauskas was, no. The state is in an absolute crisis when it comes to public hospitals and ambulances.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
We are not having a stupid basketball stadium.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Don't just get a forklift. Get a Toyota forklift. Right now, Toyota Material Handling is having a massive clear out of 2023 plated forklifts. Score a great deal across a selected range of new Toyota forklifts currently in stock. Counterbalance and reach forklifts, walkie stackers and more. So if it's 2023 plated, get a great Toyota forklift deal. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au. Get a Toyota forklift. T's and C's apply. Offer ends March 31st.
You deserve a new car. And you definitely deserve a holiday. You could win a Mercedes and a luxury getaway to the Maldives. But you've got just 3 days until the bonus deadline in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. Plus, your tickets stay in the draw for the $3.6 million Scott Salisbury Grand Prize at Henley Beach. Life-changing prizes, life-changing impact. homelottery.com.au. Licence M14493.
Bailey Nelson is shaking up the way Australians get their glasses. So if you're on the hunt to find the perfect pair of multifocals, we're the ones to see. To help you see. And for a limited time, get free multifocal lenses with 1 pair from our everyday range. Hey, there's a reason we've got over 10,000 5-star reviews. So come and see, literally, what all the fuss is about. Book a bulk build eye exam today at baileynelson.com.au. T's and C's apply. See website for details.
$50,000 sitting in the bank doing nothing much? Interested in a direct mortgage investment? You could be earning 10% per annum paid to you monthly. That's right, 10%. Angus Securities has provided mortgage investment opportunities in South Australia for almost 25 years. Call 1-800-010-800 to discuss this investment offer or visit the Flinders Street office. Investments are not bank deposits and there is a risk you could lose some or all of your money. You may receive lower than expected returns. Read the PDS carefully to decide if the product is right for you. AFSL 232479. Visit Angus Securities to access further information, including the offer brochure and TMD. 10% per annum, fixed interest paid monthly. You're better off with Angus.
Hearing Australia's Hearing the Nation tour is coming to Adelaide, delivering free hearing checks for adults. Search Hearing the Nation for more.
Hearing Australia.
Conditions apply under the Australian Government Hearing Services Program.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
The FIVEAA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
25 minutes to 5. Brian Taylor coming up at 5 o'clock ahead of the footy season beginning on Thursday night. The Tribunal has just begun, fellas, for Jimmy Webster. Webster has pled guilty to all aspects of his charge. The AFL is seeking an 8-match ban.
Wow. There it is. I win the office draw, thank you.
We'll find out how this plays. We'll continue to follow this throughout the show, so stay listening. Have you say 8223 0000.
Well, Rowey, May 31st, the Matildas are coming to Adelaide. You're beauty, taking on China. Can't wait. It's going to be a cracking event. And we've got the man that made it happen. And I'm going to have to ask him this. You made the statement after we absolutely smoked Uzbekistan, and you said, get the Premier on and get him to get the Matildas here. He's on the line now, the Premier. G'day, how are you?
Not too bad. I take all my instructions from Rowey. So
no, you don't.
Happy to come through.
But boy, do you move quick.
Gee, you did, mate.
This one's been a long time coming, I think.
Okay.
I think it's been a bit overdue that we've had the Matildas and the Socceroos playing in Adelaide in front of big crowds. And the truth is, the Matildas are as you gents know, I mean, I think they're the hottest team in the country right now. So it's a case of making sure that a truly national team plays in one of the most iconic venues anywhere in the world, and that's going to happen on Friday, May the 31st.
So when did the bidding/negotiating for this game start, and who were we up against?
Last year it all started. We knew that there was an opportunity coming in the lead up to the Olympics, so the Matildas obviously are off to Paris, and you know there's a fair bit of hope around the place that they could go even further than they did in the World Cup at the Paris Olympics. So we knew there was going to be some farewell games in the lead up to that. So then the conversation started with Football Australia last year, and we started going a bit. There was a fair bit of back and forth. We've got to keep an eye on a few things. They sort of demand a price on where they play these days, and that's hardly surprising. But we were also arguing the point that, come on, you can't not play at the Adelaide Oval. Like, you can't just got to keep going where the money is. So we're willing to put some money on the table, but not at any price. And we ended up having a negotiation and got the outcome. I mean, they had a sellout crowd in Perth. They had a sellout crowd in Melbourne. I think they had 12 sellout crowds in a row. So we just want to make sure that Adelaide comes through with that, and we see that repeated. And we expect that on a Friday night, we'll get a fair bit of interstate visitation with it.
First time since November 2019. They've never played on Adelaide Oval, and we will. So it was a bit of our turn and a bit of good negotiation. Premier, are you finding you and your team it's easier to sell Adelaide and these big events?
You know what? I'm glad you asked that, Rowey. The short answer to that question is yes. I think the reputation of us delivering quality events and big crowds is getting out there. The fact that we've been able to translate events to interstate tourism also helps as well, because that's in Football Australia's interests, making sure that it's a sellout. They want it to be on, TV with a sellout as well. So, and playing against China is a significant draw card, and I guess that was the other part of the equation that we took an interest in. Once we knew that it was going to be against China, strategically that has a value for us. That is still not even with the trade restrictions and so forth, they're still the biggest trading partner we have as a state by a pretty significant margin. So those few things align, but undoubtedly the reputation that we've built up over a period of time means that it's in Football Australia's interest to be in South Australia as much as it's in our interest to have the Matildas playing.
Yeah, I get competitive advantage and, cards close to chest and negotiations, but did the Matildas cost more or less than the Rugby League State of Origin?
Well, if I answer that question, I don't want. Well, if I answer that question, one's going to feel dudded, aren't they?
We'll just go same.
Well, I'll ask it like this, Premier. Will it be a similar commercial gain as the NRL game here last year, the State of Origin?
We hope so. I mean, I suspect there'll be a lot of South Australians that'll be keen to see the Matildas as well, so that'll take up a significant proportion of the ticket.
Yes.
So the way it works, and I don't think I'm breaching. I hope I'm not breaching the contracts conference when I say this, but we put in these contracts certain metrics that have to be met attached to the fee, and interstate ticket sales is an obvious one, for instance. So, where Football Australia or other commercial partners want a fee, then what we demand is requisite return for the state.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So,
Yes,
I probably can't go into too much of the detail, but without breaking commercial in confidence. But what we seek to do is heavily insure our position to make sure that if we are putting money on the table, that it is getting an economic dividend. Apart from the fact that we want to see the Matildas inspiring another generation of young kids, and I don't think we should lose sight of just the importance of that. I mean, this was a team that really captured the hearts of young women and boys across the country. And at the press conference today, the looks on the faces of the young soccer players there, I mean, this is a big deal to them, and they've got to get access to their heroes if we want them to participate and that to grow.
Love it. So this will sort of along the same lines, and you don't have to give a number as such, but we put an allocated amount away at budget time to attract events. Now, we've been able to do that.
It falls within that.
Yeah, and this falls within that, and we've been doing this over the last couple of years since you guys are in power now. How is the RAI looking on that? You don't have to say the number, but how are we looking?
Okay, that's a good question. No. So on each of the events, an independent report is commissioned on the economic return and benefit, and we make that public, and we'll be doing that in this case too. So,
awesome.
with Gather Round, we know it was over $80 million. Live Golf was over, from memory, it was over $60 million. And we've got the numbers for the State of Origin and so forth. So look, I think that's part of the deal. And the partners that we enter into, they know that that's the quid pro quo, as was the case with Football Australia with the other venues they've been playing at, including recently in Perth. I mean, we saw the Western Australian government reportedly pay, I think it was $8 to $10 million for Coldplay, and that was for when they played over at Optus Stadium. And with the Coldplay event, they paid that $8 to $10 million to the Western Australian government, and all the ticket sales, all the merchandise, and everything else still went to Coldplay. So they didn't even get $1 back on ticket sales. So now we are not talking sums of money anywhere near that. So, it's a competitive marketplace, and we operate within a budget. We've got to achieve those metrics. But like I said, what the real weight of our argument here to Football Australia, I think, came down to come on. I mean, you played in Perth, you played in Melbourne. There was games in Sydney and Brisbane during the World Cup. How do you not play it at Adelaide Oval? And I think that was the key part that I guess motivated this outcome. And I'm not gonna die wondering. I was on the phone to the CEO, and I met with their members of their board directly, pushing the case. And they've got to appreciate that. If they choose not to come to Adelaide, I'm going to call it out. Which I think I've got a responsibility to do, and that's what, like I said, young players that we want to inspire across the state should know.
Very persuasive, our Premier, isn't he? Well, here we go. The second Ashes Test, 2017, we got 55,317. That's the record since the new Adelaide Oval redevelopment. Let's get that going. We've got to beat that. Gather round into Live Golf in the Matildas. We're not going to be able to sleep the next 3 months. So ticket sales, Football Australia football account holders is 2 p.m. Friday the 8th. And then the rest of us, Timmy, general public at 12 p.m. our time, Tuesday, 12th March, through Ticketek, which is great, Premier.
One other point, though, was that we put a bit of pressure on to make sure the ticket prices are accessible. Yes. And kids' tickets start from $20, adult tickets from $35,
Brilliant.
Family tickets are $90. So while it, cost of living crisis, just making sure they're affordable is something that we put a bit of effort into with Football Australia too. And to their credit, they've come to the party in that regard.
Who's your favourite Matilda?
Oh, look, Fowler's the superstar. I mean, Sam Kerr, obviously. I mean, that goal. I love watching players who rise to the occasion. And I mean, I think those two have done it in a way that does us all proud.
Excellent, mate. Anything else on the horizon? Any other phone calls you've been making?
No, that's all good.
Really appreciate your time. Excellent
no
effort. We're over the moon about the Matildas coming to town.
Well done.
You've done another great job.
Mate.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
The
Bye.
Premier, Peter Malinauskas, our guest.
Well, I thought the Premier might have said Sharon Black played 62 times for the Matildas at senior level, including the Women's World Cup and the Olympic Games. She's been inducted into the Hall of Champions. She joins us now. Sharon, welcome. How good is this?
Hi, guys. It's just amazing. I probably thought that we would miss out again, and as the Premier said, I think it was time that we got given an opportunity.
Well, the last 12 games the girls have played have been sold out, so the pressure's on us now. 55,000's our target, Sharon.
And I think we'll get there. I think the excitement of the footballing and non-footballing community, as well as interstate and overseas visitors, I think we'll definitely get the 55,000.
Excellent. Did you ever play here in Adelaide for the Matildas? Did you get to get here, Sharon?
No, unfortunately, that was something that didn't happen in my time.
Hey, Sharon, you coach currently. What effect did you see the World Cup have at all levels?
Yeah, we talk about the youngsters, and it's definitely increased the juniors at our club. But I've also seen an increase in parents of these young girls who play for a club are now wanting to play. And I think that's a fantastic thing. They take their daughter to training, and then they go to training themselves. So I think it's had an impact right across the board.
How good's that? As a pioneer player, and I say this because a lot of you ladies had to play a lot of hard games to get the game up to where it is today. How do you feel when you see sell-out crowds now?
I'm not sure I'm a pioneer. I'm probably not that old, but...
Ease up, Timmy.
Yeah.
Similar era to us.
Yes,
It's okay.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, look, I think we have a part to play, and I sort of call it chapters, I guess. I had my chapter, and things improved in that time, and definitely over the last couple of years, things have just exploded.
I love that we're playing a strong nation too, Sharon, in China. For those that aren't aficionados of the game, it's a friendly, but they'll be going full bore, won't they?
Oh, absolutely. This is the last of 2 games before the Olympic Games. One of the pinnacles, of any athlete. So I know the Matildas will, and China are number 19 in the world. So, they're not far behind us, and typically Asian countries are very skillful and they're quick with their feet. So, this is going to be a tough game.
Yeah. Can we win the Olympic gold without Sam?
We just take it a game at a time. I know that's a pretty boring thing to say, but, you find out who your opponents are, and obviously Michelle Heyman had a cracker of a game, and I think we've got a little bit of time to now try and sort out what the best combination is for the team.
Yeah. Tony Gustafsson, Sharon, can he coach?
Well, clearly he can. And look, I think, we sort of don't hear much of what happens within the camp, and the players within the camp, they seem pretty content with the way that things are going. So they're obviously, on the same path or as what he is. And, we've had some fabulous results, so we probably can't really complain at the moment.
Well, they're our favourite. They're coming May the 31st. Enjoy it, Sharon, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, I will, and thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, fantastic. Sharon Black, Hall of Champions, is a member of an outstanding performance. Played, 62 games for the Matildas. You do say a trailblazer, because when she played, there were 10,000. Before that was 5,000. Before that there was 3,000. Yeah. 12 times they played in Australian soil, the last 12, sold out. Sold out.
They're running hot.
Get your tickets.
They certainly are. 10 minutes to 5, very shortly after this break. Jimmy Webster has addressed the Tribunal. We'll get all his quotes and the updates from it after this traffic.
Crash at Elizabeth Main North Road near Fairfield Road. Heavy delays backed up to Judd Road and Yorktown Road, affecting all directions there. Edinburgh North, a crash, Winterslow Road near the Woodford Road roundabouts, and North Adelaide, traffic lights flashing at O'Connell Street and Tin Street. Busy at South Road, but heaps of traffic there at the moment. And we've got cameras Kings Road, Paralowie, and Wamma Road at Pinfield. Play for $996 million in the USA Mega Lotto, and get more zeros in your life. The world's biggest lotteries are at the Lottery Office. Play now at lotteryoffice.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
In tough times, it's the simple things that make a big difference. Like $19 schnitzel days at the Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and the Lighthouse Wharf. We know the humble schnitty can't fix all our problems, but we do know it'll put a smile on your dial. $19 schnitty, Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and the Lighthouse Wharf. Making the world a better place, one schnitty at a time. Got to start somewhere. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel.
Xero connects me with all sorts of things for my business, like my bank, my apps, even my bookkeeper.
Numbers looking good?
That was my bookkeeper. Xero is business, but better. Try Xero free for 30 days. Visit xero.com.
It is 8 minutes to 5. Lines available if you want to go into the running to win behind you, Timmy.
Yeah,
that magnificent.
Yes, the
Benzina
Zero. You beauty
Thanks
scooter.
to
Steinbonner.
They're a great team. Hey, whether you're kicking goals today or your prime was back in the day, you can rely on Complete Comfort every night. Complete Comfort makes amazing mattresses. They're built with active zones that you can adjust them in seconds to ensure your body gets that right support. And when you're getting on...
Well, this is really important, because if you're still into your sports and activities, which I do attempt, you still have some injuries from the old days, whether it be on the oval pitch or court. They look like your average bed, but they're far from average. This will really help you. You can see the way I'm walking today, Rowey. I need a Complete Comfort bed.
Oh, I've been saying this for weeks. I've got to do it. I always send Jodie off for snoring. But if I could prop her up and get her gob shut,
I'm with you,
and roll her head back a bit and her feet up, which these beds all do,
they'll do it.
Here there is no snoring.
Okay.
How good would that be? These mattresses can help that as well. There are so many reasons why a quality bed with support you can adjust with the click of a button is a huge investment in your well-being.
Visit CompleteComfort.com.au or visit their Wavell showroom and experience Complete Comfort beds for yourself.
Back in '69, Frank Hutchison started a journey when he met Bill King, who ran a remote travel business. King needed four-wheel drive parts so strong, so reliable, they'd make the return trip after enduring the rigours of the Aussie outback. This forged Tyrone Tamer's beginnings. Over 50 years later, Frank and his team continue to innovate and create parts strong enough to survive the toughest terrains on the planet. And best of all, the customer is still king. Terrain Tamer, parts that will get you home.
A must-see at Fringe this year is the grilling season with Annabelle Crabb. In an Adelaide Fringe exclusive, Annabelle Crabb dives into her 25-year political career to spill the tea on her strangest and most hilarious political encounters. Hear the tale of the gnocchi that foretold the end of a political career, the scariest salad in politics, and the amazing things you can learn from onions. Don't miss the grilling season with Annabelle Crabb. 2 weekends only at Gluttony. Book at adelaidefringe.com.au.
Mackenzie, great game, and I just wanted to know your response to the news that Kia's getting a ute.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of excitement and a lot of people keen to get their name on it, but all I can say for now is that utes are required to be tough, brick wall tough, so I'll be putting my best foot forward and hoping they make the right decision.
Kia's getting a ute. Register your interest at kia.com.au.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
The FIVEAA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
6 minutes to 5. Brian Taylor coming up after 5 o'clock, and call into the show 8223 0000. You can have your say on anything happening in the sporting world right now, and you go in the running to win this Benzina scooter, which we have for the next 2 weeks to give away, all thanks to Steinborner Automotive. Always worth the trip. Hyundai, Ford, Mitsubishi and Mazda across the group. Steinborner.com.au.
As KG would say, good people.
Very
good people, Steinborner, no doubt about that. Hey, we've got two big issues at the moment. It's the Webster bump, and it's also the Clarkson comments about the bump. What's the update at the moment at the Tribunal, Sam?
So the live feed coming through says Jimmy Webster's just addressed the Tribunal. His quotes are that he's really sorry about what happened on Sunday. It's something he's not proud of. I've let a lot of people down. When he was asked about why he jumped off the ground, his words are, I've got no excuse. He also then goes on to say, I'm happy to cop the backlash. I've got a 16-month-old and a wife at home. For them to cop it on social media, it's obviously not very good. And then says it's also the first time he's rewatched this footage since the incident and says, I feel pretty sick about it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he can't go anywhere. He has to.
Oh, look, there was instant regret. There was no doubt about that.
So Webster did what we would call a classical 1970s, 1980s shirt front, late and high.
Yep.
And then Alistair Clarkson does what we would call a 1980s sledge, a homophobic sledge that I think everyone in my era has used. I knew it straight away, and I know I've used it. So what in God's name was in the water for that St Kilda North game? I mean, they both... That happened in the same game, in the same quarter. And what was in the water?
Now, you know Caroline Wilson probably hasn't been the biggest fan of Alistair Clarkson. She was on her podcast and had this to say.
North are under the pump because he's made this ridiculous attack yet again on a player who, I mean, Jimmy Webster completely deserves all he gets from the AFL judiciary for what he did in the practice game the other day. But that does not justify Alistair Clarkson's ridiculous attack on the St Kilda player. Yet again, Alistair has lost it. Yet again, Alistair has put the question in everyone's mind, is this man mentally able to get through the pressure of an AFL season?
Well, I can't wait to attack her on that on Thursday.
Wow.
Why would she attack the mental aspect of Alistair Clarkson on the back of where he's from and what he's done, not in the past, but just in recent with the Hawthorn inverted commas saga?
I think she's saying because he took time off, remember, for mental health reasons last year. And she's saying, is very strong. Has he recovered enough to be able to do it?
Yeah, I think she's playing the man there.
Well, then
cannot wait.
There's not a lot of love lost between them, I don't think.
Well, don't get that cloud the issue. This is one of the greatest techs, unique home style food techs. I'm going to give it a $50 Powers voucher.
Well, if you can do that,
can I?
I'm
can
not
we
sure.
give it to a tex?
Let's
try. Hard times create strong men. I'd agree with that. Strong men create good times. I'd agree with that. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Guess where we're at, Damien? That's
he's almost a philosopher.
He's got a touch of the Nostradamus about him.
Well, a philosopher. More a Socrates.
But isn't he the same thing?
Oh, philosopher. No, a bit different.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, a bit different.
Oh, what was Confucius?
He was definitely
I
confused.
won't do his voice, but he was.
All right.
What was he?
He was definitely a philosopher of sorts.
Well, 2 minutes to 5.
Oh, my goodness.
Gee,
5
I'm
o'clock news.
disciplined.
Brian Taylor next.
Rowey and Timmy G on the FIVEAA Sports Show.
15 times a day, the Royal Flying Doctor will come to the rescue of someone from any corner of South Australia. That's why it's so important to donate on Double Up for Doc Day, March 7. On this special day, every donation you make will be matched by our partners to help fit out a new aircraft with life-saving equipment. Double Up for Doc Day is coming, March 7. For information and to donate on this day, visit flyingdoctor.com.au.
Folks travel far and wide to meet Trev from Rollerco.
G'day, is Trev around? Oh, sorry, mate, he's with a customer right now.
Trev's always eager to please. Just pat him on the belly and he'll do anything for you. Oh yes, Trev said you can order your sliding door or window parts online and he'll organise delivery to your door. Rollerco.com.au. They'll get you rolling. No, I'm not patting you on the belly. Oh, all right.
When you want a retractable door screen, you want uninterrupted views and natural ventilation combined with protection from insects. You want Phantom Screens. Our custom-made retractable door screens can be colour-matched to your existing decor and span up to 7 metres wide. And they disappear out of sight when not in use. A screen that's there 1 minute, gone the next. From the hills to the coast and everywhere in between, let the fresh air in with Phantom Screens. Get inspired online at phantomscreens.com.au.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Mostly clear tonight, 19. Sunny tomorrow, 33. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
The exceptional sale is on at Berkowitz. Save 25 to 50% off all Berkowitz furniture. Ends soon.
There's been a house fire at Evanston Gardens. It sparked on Grey Crescent around midday. An occupant had to be treated at the scene. Meantime, an elderly couple remain in intensive care after being pulled from their burning home at Modbury last night. A teenager is the latest fatality on our roads. The 19-year-old man from the hills died in a two-car crash at Wanawe, south of Port Augusta this morning. The other driver, a 55-year-old woman, is in hospital. Well, there's been a fruit fly outbreak at Salisbury North. PIRSA says they've identified the area impacted.
Unfortunately, in this case, we've found 6 fruit flies in those fruit fly traps, and that has triggered an outbreak. So as a result, we've had to establish a quarantine area around that site. A 1.5 kilometre outbreak area has been established, and we'll be very active in that area to eradicate the pest. We've also established a 15 kilometre suspension area.
There's growing anger over the fate of koalas on Kangaroo Island amid logging of blue gums. It's claimed hundreds are being killed or injured, with distressing vision emerging of them clinging to trees as they're cut down. Although it's happening on private land, local Mayor Michael Pengilly has received death threats, calling him a koala killer.
They're pretty sick sort of comments, and they're all anonymous. Fortunately, their numbers have come through, so anything that's wishing that I was dead may well go to SOPOL and they can deal with it, not me.
Millions of Australians will soon pay more for health insurance, but the government says the planned increases could have been far greater. Zach De Silva has the story.
The Albanese government has approved an average increase to health insurance premiums of just over 3%. But companies aren't locked into that figure and some will charge more. NIB plans to slug customers with a 4.1% rise. Health Minister Mark Butler sent many insurers back to the drawing board because their initial offer was too high.
It was substantially higher than the 3% that I've approved.
Rachel David from Private Health Australia says the hikes are needed as many providers are under pressure from inflation.
The cost per procedure is increasing considerably.
The new premiums kick in from April.
Adelaide has secured a Matildas match with hopes it'll pump millions of dollars into the local economy. Premier Peter Malinauskas says tickets will go on sale this Friday for the match on May 31.
I think they're playing a couple of games just before they go over to Paris, and we've been able to secure one of those against China, and it's on a Friday night. So it being close to a weekend gives an opportunity for people to travel over.
It comes as Matildas star Sam Kerr is set to face a criminal trial in London in February. She's accused of using insulting, threatening and abusive words to cause alarm or distress to a police officer back in January. And the ex-husband of Kathleen Folbig has suddenly died less than a year after she was pardoned over the deaths of their 4 children. Craig Folbig was rushed to hospital over the weekend but has died from a heart attack. The 55-year-old was also suffering cancer. Now turning to 5AA sport, and St Kilda's Jimmy Webster is facing the Tribunal to learn his penalty for that bump on Roos skipper Jai Simpkin. North Melbourne has officially ruled Simpkin out of their round 1 clash after suffering his 3rd concussion in under 12 months. His official return to play timeline is unclear. Eagles star Tim Kelly says there was a lot to like in their final pre-season hit-out against the Crows at the weekend, even though they went down by 11 goals.
After a bit of a slow start, I think we really got going in the second and third quarter. So, yeah, some positives there. We played the game in our front half, which every team's trying to do. Unfortunately, we're just probably lacking a little bit of connection going inside 50 and, putting it on the scoreboard. So there's a lot to work on there.
It doesn't get any easier for the reigning Wooden Spooners, who face Port Adelaide away in round 1. And Richmond's 3-time premiership captain Trent Cotchin has signed with Brisbane as a mentor. Cotchin will work with the Lions leaders in an off-field role as they aim to go one better this season after losing last year's grand final. Now checking 5AA traffic.
No better time or place to jump into Jayco than at Jayco Adelaide's brand new West Beach dealership.
Afternoon at Gilberton, a breakdown, Northcote Terrace near Rogue Terrace. At Parracombe, a crash there, Gorge Road near Corkscrew Road. And Elizabeth, another crash, Main North Road near Fairfield Road with heavy delays back up to Judd Road and Yorktown Road. Getting busy, Brighton Road, Brighton, quite slow, South Road, Theberton, with cameras Wheatsheaf Road, Morford Vale, and Whites Road at Paralowie. Experience the entire Mini range at Glenelg Mini Garage, Adelaide's independent family-owned Mini dealership. Experience the fun that follows a Mini at Glenelg Mini Garage. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Mostly clear tonight, 19. Sunny tomorrow, 33. Thursday, mostly sunny, 33. And Friday, 36. Right now, it's 33 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Thank you, I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, a Matildas match confirmed for Adelaide, but the announcement is marred by superstar Sam Kerr's court appearance, accused of racially abusing a police officer. Private health premiums going up, we have the numbers. Customer loyalty programs, the perks and the pitfalls. And first pictures of Kate Middleton since her hospital stay. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 now.
Bailey Nelson is shaking up the way Australians get their glasses. So if you're on the hunt to find the perfect pair of multifocals, we're the ones to see. To help you see. And for a limited time, get free multifocal lenses with 1 pair from our everyday range. Hey, there's a reason we've got over 10,000 5-star reviews. So come and see, literally, what all the fuss is about. Book a bulk-billed eye exam today at baileynelson.com.au. T's and C's apply. See website for details.
Okay, you've found your ideal block of land. Perfect location, perfect lifestyle. Now, it's time to stroll through the Urban at the Selector Homes Display Village. Intelligently designed for a narrow block, the Urban is packed with space to suit a young family or your upcoming retirement. Contemporary facades, stone-facing, stunning courtyard. You'll make the neighbours jealous. Visit the Urban at the Selector Homes Display Village, Port Wakefield Road, Burton.
Set sail with Phil Hoffman Travel and Crystal on the voyage of your lifetime. Discover why Crystal is truly exceptional at sea. Experience impeccable service, exquisite dining, including the only Nobu at sea, enriching experiences and opulent suites. Sailing across the globe from iconic to extraordinary destinations. Book your voyage by the 31st of March and receive an exclusive complimentary suite upgrade. Phil Hoffman Travel, for over 30 years creating moments you'll never forget. Visit pht.com.au.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA. Always Adelaide.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
7 minutes after 5, still to come on the program tonight. Mark Bosnich from Stan Sport. We'll have Ned McHenry here from 6 o'clock. And we'll keep you updated as the Jimmy Webster hearing continues. The AFL are seeking an 8-week ban. Have you say 8223 Thanks to Steinborn Automotive, every caller that goes to where goes in the running to win a Benzina sports scooter.
Well, the 2024 season is upon us. It's opening round this Thursday. It'll be live on 7 at Sydney v Melbourne. Brian Taylor heads up a star-studded call team. BT, welcome.
Rowey, Timmy, how are you both?
Now, you normally go into summer hibernation in this off-season. Have you been in a good paddock, BT?
Yes, I have. I've enjoyed my summer, even there's been no hot days. It's been good to get away, but can't wait to get back into, what are they calling it, round zero on Thursday night in Sydney. Should be great.
How many years is this for you now?
I don't know. I started in 1991, so whatever. We'll do the numbers, Timmy, quick.
33.
Yeah, that's 23. 33.
Yep.
33
So
years. Wow.
That's a few games under the belt. I don't count my games, so I've got no idea how many games I do, but I love what I do, and I still, like you guys, get a kick when I go to the footy and there's a great game of footy in front of you. You still get an absolute buzz out of it. There's no doubt about it.
Now, Bristol, are you doing Thursday, Friday's game? Which one have you got?
I'm doing Thursday and Saturday this week. It's a little unusual in that it's 0 round and it's all over the shop. So, yeah, I'm kicking off with the Melbourne-Sydney game on Thursday, and then I'm staying in Sydney for the GWS Collingwood game as well. And another team will go up and do the Brisbane-Carlton game.
Do you like the tactic they've sent, like Melbourne, Carlton, Richmond and Collingwood up there to try and get these all to be sellouts?
Well, yeah, and they are. They've achieved that because they were sold out a long time ago, Timmy. So I like that point of view. And it's important, I guess, from a New South Wales perspective, that when people do switch on and have a bit of a look, that they see full stadiums and then they think something's going on. There's no doubt. This will be the first time ever, I think, that the GWS stadium, not a big stadium, I might add, is absolutely chock-a-block and people are hanging out for a ticket. SCG will be full as well. So they have somewhat completed the task that they set themselves, but it's also about getting viewers to watch the game. Channel 7 live and free, of course. So they need to get the numbers up big time in Sydney, and that's also what this is about.
And the Suns Richmond one, of course, with the Damien Hardwick return. That's a perfect little recipe for a good story.
Yeah, it is, and I reckon Gold Coast might just about get hold of them. I don't know I'm not sure how good Richmond will be again this year. New coach might give them a little bit of a lift, but you got to think, Gold Coast is going to get something out of Hardwick as well. So I'd suspect they both do reasonably well. Richmond will probably end up finishing higher than Gold Coast come the end of the year. That would be my bet.
Hey, any new Roosters in the 7 call team, BT?
Couple. We've got a South Australian and Aaron Phillips who's going to be doing Thursday night footy, Rowey. So that is something that I am genuinely looking forward to. Not very often you come across athletes like someone like Aaron Phillips, but not just the fact that she's only played, AFLW for, 7 years or whatever it is that it's been going. The fact that she's been a professional athlete in a big competition internationally, the fact that she has an incredible heritage through the Phillips, Flipper being the father, of course, that to me, and me knowing Flipper and having played with him at Collingwood as well, I just know that she knows her footy. I just know that she loves the footy, and I'm really looking forward to working with her. Joel Selwood's going to be great as well. There are none better than him, so he'll be absolutely fantastic. And Daisy Thomas, who's a sneaky guy, has been working with me on the radio for many, many years now, but he's also going to join the Thursday night team. So it'll be a young, fresh, full of information team.
Now, just go back to the 80s when you were with Flip. You would have done a bit of match sim. Did you ever get a kick on him?
No, he's listening. He shrunk a bit now, but he was a man mountain, The guy was bloody huge. The best thing that my time with Greg Phillips Flipper, as many of you would know him over there, was when he took us to Port Lincoln, and I was only in Port Lincoln for the cup the other day, was when he took us to Port Lincoln on our footy trip. We had 5 days over the cup period, the Collingwood Football Club at Port Lincoln, and Flipper showed us one of the greatest times of all time. It just shows you don't have to go to Vegas to have fun. We went to Port Lincoln and had bloody plenty.
Yeah. Hey, BT, is that old roaming barn, is that still on?
Yes. What do you mean, old roaming brain? It's a new still a new innovation. Come on. Yeah, look, all clubs react differently to it.
Yeah.
Sydney, to be honest with you, haven't been great historically, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But I believe they've got a lot of their former greats that are going to be in the room, so I look forward to that. Buddy and Plugger's going to be there, I'm told, as well. So that'll give us something. Look, it's just about taking people for a walk around the rooms where, otherwise they wouldn't probably get there. It's just a little bit different and something we try to do, and we've pretty well got cooperation from all of the clubs now, so it's made it a little bit easier as well.
If Warwick Capper's in the room, just smoke him. Just walk straight past him.
Was it? Yeah, he'd be desperate for the mic, the whiz. You're right, Rowey. I will do that. I will smoke him, and I'll just waft it past his mouth and keep walking.
That'll break me up.
That'd be brilliant. Hey, mate, this time of the year you get everybody making predictions. Do you subscribe to that? And if you do, could you give us a bit of an idea where you think Port and the Crows might land?
Yeah, the teams I can. I'm mind boggled about people making predictions for things like Norm Smith, that sort of thing. I just think how can you do that when you don't actually know who's in the team? But in terms of this year, I reckon the top 3 teams will come from. I think Brisbane probably should win it if they play their best and field their best team. They'll win the most home and away games, so I think they'll finish on top. I think Collingwood will be there again. I think Melbourne will be thereabouts again.
Yep.
And I think Port will be probably there in the top 4. Now, there'll be 3 or 4 other teams, GWS, wanting to have a go at that top 4 as well, and a couple of others. I reckon the 4th spot is open. I reckon the 3 above, you could pretty well bet on that those teams would make it.
Well, where are the Crows?
Well, the Crows are developing, and I reckon they're a year away. They are going to win more games than they did last year, but that's not going to be enough to propel them into the top 4. But I still think they're going to be ultra competitive, and they're going to be still going up rather than down.
Have you ever jumped late, shirt-fronted someone, head high? Webster, BT. We've all had brain fades, but that's up there, isn't it? How many does he get?
Never shirt-fronted anyone in my life. I've punched a few in the mouth, but other than that, shirt-fronted anyone because I've never quite got that momentum up. But, yeah. Look, I heard you guys in the introduction there. If the AFL, is that right that the AFL are calling for 8, is it?
Yes.
8.
Yeah. Well, he'll get 7 or 8. And probably, look, with all of the discussion, the retirement of Brayshaw, the lawsuits that are going on at the moment, it probably just had to happen. How stupid are you to do it? But it's making the game hard. My opinion on this, and I'm sort of in a lot of ways reluctant to put it forward because, people knock it down, etc., etc. But it's a bit like boxing. If you've got a glass jaw and you're a boxer, then don't box. If you've got a bad heart and you want to run marathons, I'm sorry, but you'll have to run the sprints. Play the sport that your body and medical conditions allow you to play. And I'm just wondering whether if players have concussions in their first years of football, first 1, 2, 3, 4 years, whether that should be it for them. Whether from that point on, the AFL should look at them and say, I'm sorry, but this game is probably not for you, because at the moment we're changing the rules for the minority, and the majority, including the supporters, are not perhaps getting the game, because I completely understand what the AFL are doing. They've got to change the rules. They've got to make it hard so that they can defend this in court when the time comes. And I get all of that, but I just wonder whether people that are susceptible to head knocks, and I'm talking about the real incidental ones. I'm not talking about the ones like Timmy Webster, because that's just not on. Whether you should actually be whether this game's actually for you.
Yeah. Well, your theory, you need to ring that Will Pekoski. He's just had his 14th hit in the head.
Yeah,
They need to timber.
There's the good example. I mean, don't you it's hard to tell a young kid to stop playing sport because imagine what we were like when we were that age. But it's probably time that cricket's probably not his go. You know, even though he is so good at it, it's a hard thing to say to someone like Angus Brayshaw, Pekoski, all of these other guys. Look, you can't play this sport. You know, they can earn $700,000 a year. They're really good at it, but you can't play it. But where does it all end?
Hey, mate, you've been in football for a long time, 33 years in the commentary box, but longer than that as a player as well. We've got two new people in the big seats. We've got Laura Kane, head of footy, and we've got Andrew Dillon as the CEO. First changes in a long time. How have you seen them so far?
Look, I think they'll be great long term. Andrew Dillon's been there for a long time, and I think the CEO has always got to come. I don't think we can bring it. You know, every year they talk about headhunters, bring someone from outside, but I think the AFL is such a niche job as a CEO that you need to serve a 5 to 10 year apprenticeship. I just think that is an absolute must to understand it completely. It's not the same as any other business. It's very, very different. So I'm really confident in Andrew Dillon, who's sat alongside Gill for a long time. He's filled a number of portfolios, and I think he's going absolutely swimmingly at the moment. Laura Kane, I don't know a lot about, other than James Brayshaw has told me many, many times when she was at North Melbourne that she was absolutely unbelievable, and we're beginning to see a little bit of her work now, and where you know, there won't be too many coaches jumping up and down to Laura because she'd give them a good whack and tell them to sit down anyway. So I'm looking forward to seeing how she goes, but I'm very, very confident that she'll be another great thing for the AFL.
Now, can you confirm or deny that you were the Channel 7 identity that banned whistling on the side of the ground, BT? You're big whistler, you big bristlehead?
No, I don't. I wasn't the whistler. I wasn't the whistling banner. That is for sure. Where's dinner, Dale? No, I would never do that to my wife. Yes, look, I don't think it come from a Channel 7 personality. Perhaps it may have come from somewhere deeper within the Channel 7 group, but certainly not from anyone that was on air, I don't think. That's my knowledge of it. Yeah. But it is a strange thing. But do you guys remember it? Have you heard it happen?
We didn't ever hear it happen.
I didn't know it was a thing.
We got some rumours that it was the Bulldogs that were whistling quite a bit.
It was particular to the western side of Melbourne. And you know, possibly deliberate, who knows, but it was very, very loud and off-putting, and you know how people mightn't be aware that they have mics that are located actually on the ground, all the way around the ground, to capture all of the noise that goes with the bangs and crashes of football, and this one was very close to the western whistler.
Okay, well, last one. I mean, how sanitised do we want to get where Clarko can't run out and protect his player and, you know, call someone a...
Yeah, sort of agree. Happens a lot to Clarko.
I know.
But I know, Rowey, we love our players, and if you and I were coaching, we would do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And so perhaps a little slap over the knuckles and, you know, keep the language to a minimum, and that's all that needs to happen in this case, I would have thought, because it's a highly emotional situation. I understand it, I get it, and you've got to support your players. If he didn't do that, what would we be saying? Yeah. Alistair Clarkson doesn't care about the health and well-being of his players, you know? So you've got to look at it from the other angle. Yeah, but it's interesting.
Good to have you back, BT. Glad you're out of hibernation in your 34th season. Sydney v Melbourne, live on 7 with the great BT, Brian Taylor. Thanks for your time, legend.
Thanks, guys. Live and free, Rowey.
Live and free.
Come on.
I love it. Well, it's a very important point. See you, BT. Well done, mate.
See you, boys.
He's a ripper.
Absolutely.
Live and free on 7.
Thank you. Got it right.
Every week.
22 minutes after 5. Have you say we'll get very shortly the update from the Tribunal, because the AFL are starting to address with their say. Rossdale Homes, Adelaide's fixed price custom home builder, because trust is a must. Here's your roads.
Breakdown at Gilberton to look out for. Northcote Terrace near Rogue Terrace. Crash at Parracombe, Gorge Road near Corkscrew Road. And Elizabeth crash Main North Road near Fairfield Road. Heavy delays back up to Judd Road and Yorktown Road. Slow at the moment, Brighton Road, Brighton. Busy South Road at Fairwoodton with the camera Kessler's Road at Para Hills West. The King Living Anniversary sale ends soon. Save up to 50% on selected Australian design award-winning furniture. Sale ends soon. Visit the King Living Keswick showroom today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Adelaide is in fringe mode and you'll see the hottest shows at Gluttony. Thanks to 9 News and 5AA, you could win tickets and hospitality for you and 3 friends. Watch 9 News nightly at 6 for the daily featured show. Then listen to Breakfast with us, David and Will, 6 to 9 weekdays on 5AA. The hottest shows are at Gluttony.
You deserve a new car. And you definitely deserve a holiday. You could win a Mercedes and a luxury getaway to the Maldives. But you've got just 3 days until the bonus deadline in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. Plus, your tickets stay in the draw for the $3.6 million Scott Salisbury Grand Prize at Henley Beach. Life-changing prizes, life-changing impact. HomeLottery.com.au. Licence M14493.
How awesome! Mawson Lakes Volkswagen has plenty of Tiguans and Amaroks in stock. Tiguan Allspace is a 7-seater with plenty of room and plenty of smarts featuring auto park, adaptive cruise control and lane assist. And the latest generation Amarok has a big 1-ton payload and 3.5-ton towing capacity. But inside, you'll get all the comforts of a luxury vehicle. There's plenty of stock that must go. Hurry in for a deal. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
The cost of living keeps rising. Thankfully, so does the sun. That's why more Aussies are getting smart with SolarHeart. Go solar today and get up to $1,000 off a SolarHeart solar power system and battery package. That's right, get up to $1,000 off when you purchase a 5 kilowatt and above SolarHeart solar power system and an eligible Goodwee battery. Lower your energy bills with every sunrise. Get smart. Get SolarHeart. Terms and conditions apply.
Discover the magic of the Murray River and Riverland with Holiday Wonders. Our latest 3-day getaway offers the river's best highlights, with delicious lunches at the historic Overland and Loxton hotels, plus a 2-night stay and great dining at the beautiful Renmark Hotel. Enjoy gin tasting at Rushton's Gin Distillery and a picnic lunch at the Wilkadine Woolshed Brewery with stunning river views, all for just $945 per person, with departures from April to June. Holidaywonders.com.au.
Looking to build or renovate? Then talk to Rundle Blinds and Curtains to plan your window furnishings. Including your blinds and curtains in your designs means you can incorporate the latest in smart home technology and installation innovations, such as ceiling recessing and double tracking. Rundle Blinds and Curtains work closely with your builders and architect to make the process seamless for stunning results. Rundle Blinds and Curtains, Adelaide's premier window furnishings company. Book a consultation with our Kings Park team. Visit rundleblinds.com.au.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. We're gonna miss the game if we don't get this TV working.
At Sip and Save, you won't be getting mixed signals from us. Enter at sipandsave.com.au today and you and a mate could be winning a VIP game day experience. Just snap up any Great Northern Super Crisp 30-pack for $59.99 for your chance to win. There's also Johnny Walker Red Label Scotch or Smirnoff Red Vodka 700ml bottles for just $43.99 each. You can expect more from Sip and Save. More deals, more range, more service. Terms and conditions apply. Prices may vary in country areas.
Sip and Save. There's more in store.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
26 minutes after 5. Mark Bosnich coming up very shortly, and every caller that goes on air in the next 2 weeks goes in the running for that Benzina scooter. It's all thanks to Steinborner Automotive. It's always worth the trip. Hyundai, Ford, Mitsubishi and Mazda across the group. Steinborner.com.au.
After 6, hang on, TJM Equip brings us Ned. Ned heard BT. Don't miss Neddy after 6.
Yeah.
He's going to launch him.
Oh!
Launch him.
Okay, well, let's put somebody else into the running for the Benzina Zero scooter. Thanks to Steinborner. It's Craig at Happy Valley. G'day, Craig.
G'day, boys. How you going?
Good, buddy.
Good.
Excellent.
Good. There's a little bit of hypocrisy happening at the moment, and I'm trying to get your thoughts on it. If David Warner or Jack Ginnivan or anyone had done what Sam Kerr has done, there'd be a massive more outcry on what's happening.
Well, hang on. Allegedly, let's wait. I know it's before the
courts. Allegedly, but
here's the difference, Craig. We all love and adore Sam Kerr. We think Warner's a tossback.
Yeah, and Warner was wrong, but he never went to crime. He never got charged with a crime.
Well, nor is Kerr.
It's wrong.
Do you know what happened, Craig?
Yeah, but what on another point, Craig, why do you think that is? Because you've pointed it out. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because, well, I'm going to get Howard down for this, but maybe because she's an Indigenous gay woman and we'd be scared to...
Nope.
Did you dump that?
Yep. Yeah. We're not going to let that go to air, Craig. Thank you for your call, though. But for those who are catching up and not quite sure where he's going in regards to Sam Kerr being charged, well, overnight, the UK papers have revealed that she'll be facing criminal trial in February next year over an alleged racially aggravated harassment of a police officer during a situation where a police constable was responding to a complaint involving a taxi fare, and she's been accused of using insulting, threatening or abusive words that caused alarm or distress to the police officer.
One of the
words can hurt.
One of the confusing things about this is it happened 12 months ago. She's only just been charged in January, late January. So it's just a bit confusing as to why it's taken so long to actually lay some charges.
She submitted a not guilty plea already to the Kingston Crown Court, and she has a 4-day trial coming up where police will likely give evidence as well. So that'll all play out next year in Feb when she does face trial.
Yeah, can't see that going much further. Might be just a little shot over the bow. Well, it goes against the text we got on the unique home style food text of a man in blue who texts us saying, I get called that name. Whistle sucker all the time. There's nothing I can do about it. I've got to turn the other cheek.
He would get
well, this Walloper didn't, did he? This Walloper's gone the whole 9 yards.
Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right.
No, of course it doesn't. I'm just saying it's depends on who you say it to. Some people are good at copying criticism, and others are very, very poor.
There was that earlier text you read out too for Unique Homestyle Foods, just saying about what about where Jai Simpkin is at, and Tim, who knows all things North Melbourne from Prospect, he simply said, right, remember yesterday I told you that Simpkin was being arrested for a month, and he's on the money, correct, but there's that update.
He's going to miss a month.
He's going to miss a month. So, because he's had these previous cases, so they're talking 21, 28 days and the like. 28 days is a month.
So they have confirmed that he's going to miss a month.
Yeah.
4 weeks.
So...
Tim,
that would
done.
be on the back of the previous ones he's had.
3 concussions in 12 months.
I will never, ever ignore you again, Tim, from Prospect.
He's a passionate North fan.
You're 1 from 10.
Hey, just before we get to the 5:30 headlines, a tribunal update anyway. Character references were submitted from St Kilda, so they tried to get him on the good character end. They're putting that forward. Andrew Woods is the defence for the AFL. He says, this is at the higher end of carelessness. Intention isn't alleged here, but a clear decision was made to leave the ground and tuck the arm in. We believe 8 weeks is appropriate. Adrian Anderson, who's for St Kilda, says an 8-week ban is excessive and disproportionate in the circumstances. He pointed out that Andrew Gaff was given 8 matches for a behind-the-play deliberate act that smashed his opponent's jaw. You'll remember that punch.
Yeah, look, I do. I don't think that's comparable at all. And then he's also said the incident is very comparable to Power Pepper. No, sorry, you're off on a
Hang on,
wrong
is this
tangent
the
there,
Adrian
Mr.
Anderson that was the lawyer, that was the football manager for the AFL for a number of years and actually set up the MRO and its guidelines?
I reckon it might be.
Oh, now he's representing a rooster that's got no defence. Oh, that is ironic.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? 29 minutes to 6. We'll continue to keep you across this tribunal hearing. More of your calls after the break, 8223 300 00.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good evening, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. There's been a fruit fly outbreak in Salisbury North. PIRSA has mapped out quarantine zones. The ex-husband of Kathleen Folbig has died less than a year after she was pardoned over the deaths of their 4 children. Health insurers have given the green light to raise premiums. And in sport, Richmond's 3-time premiership captain Trent Cotchin has a new gig. He's signed with Brisbane as a mentor. Now checking 5AA traffic.
No better time or place to jump into Jayco than at Jayco Adelaide's brand new West Beach dealership.
A Glandore, look out for a crash cross road near Winifred Avenue. Another collision at Parracombe, Gorge Road near Corkscrew Road. And you guessed it, another collision. This one's at Elizabeth Main North Road near Fairfield Road. Really heavy delays back up to Judd Road and Yorktown Road too. Busy South Road, Theberton, slow Brighton Road, Brighton with a camera at Wammer Road at Penfield. Luxury Mercedes and Maldives bonus prizes. You could win a car and holiday if you get your Hospital Research Foundation home lottery tickets by Friday. Homelottery.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
FIVEAA forecast, mostly clear tonight, 19, sunny tomorrow, 33. Right now it is 33. We'll have more news at 6 and as it happens on FIVEAA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Koalas that have been killed on Kangaroo Island as a byproduct of wiping out Ks of unwanted blue gum trees. Some very graphic video. The mayor of Kangaroo Island, Michael Pengilly.
The video is horrible. Does it suggest they need to do a better job?
As far as I saw, there was only one koala.
Adelaide leading breakfast show.
They're saying hundreds of koalas killed, dramatising things.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Afternoon Aldi shoppers, this is a message for Kate Hassler in aisle 3. Hey, we know you see other supermarkets.
What? You do?
Yeah, it's cool. Really. Go get that smoked herring paste next door.
You're just saying that.
Nah, I mean it. But you'll save more if you shop at Aldi first.
You'll always be my first shop.
We love you.
What about me?
We love you too, Pete. Aldi. Good. Different.
Alex, all class as always. Whilst you're processing things, how are you feeling about the news that Kia's getting a ute?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, you know. Like, I don't really have anything named after me, so it's a pretty big deal to get that legacy rolling on. You know, whether it's the Great, the Volk, both do its job. So, you know, let's get to work.
Kia's getting a ute. Register your interest at kia.com.au.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Now get comfortable. Matty B was a kid when he bought a pie from a local tuck shop. It only took one bite to realise
This is
was
crap.
no ordinary pie. It was a terrible pie.
Yeah.
It stank. It triggered something deep inside Matty B.
So from that day, our boy Matty B, he pledged. He pledged. He pledged that when he grew up, when he become a man, when he got a couple little clickies, don't know what that means, he was going to make the best pies in the world. And to everyone's surprise and delight, he decided to call them unique. Just like him, a special kid who no one liked as a kid because he was different.
I don't think that's in there.
Okay, Matty B.
But Matty
we love
B.
Matty.
Look, it turns out many years later, Matty B kept his promise. Unique pies are the best pies in the world. Matty spent a lifetime perfecting them.
And he has, and he needed to be at Richmond Oval on the weekend when Scotty Campriali was absolutely starving.
Ah, yes.
And if we could have had one, chop it in and drop down to us,
Straight up.
boy, Matty B will do that next time. Get unique pies from here, your local independent supermarket, or wherever awesome food is sold.
Unique pies, it's time for something better.
The deals are coming. Get ready because Afterpay Day is back, baby. March 14 to 17 is go time with up to 70% off top brands. Paid in full with Afterpay, in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Visit afterpay.com for full terms.
Arj Barker is back for the Adelaide Fringe to answer some of life's biggest questions with his brand new show, The Mindfield.
I have a lot of respect for millennials. In fact, I got a lot of respect for anybody that's over 1,000 years old. And I'm not going to make fun of them. I'm going to try to get health tips. Because I've seen their photos on Instagram. They look amazing for their age.
Arj Barker, The Mindfield. Feb 16 to March 9 in the Garden. Book now at adelaidefringe.com.au.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
24 minutes to 6. Mark Bosnich from Stan Sport shortly, and Ned McHenry in the studio at 6.
Well, and don't miss Ned. He's going to tee off on BT. I like it a lot. Crow's injury update before the callers. Thilthorpe will have his knee op tomorrow. It's either going to be a great result of month, 6 or 10. Let's hope it's a month.
So when they go in there, that's when they'll know.
No, that's when they know. Everyone else is just speculating. Do they stitch it? Do they trim it? Do they cut it? Do they do it?
Once you're in,
I've
you
had
know.
5 on the one knee. I came back in 2 weeks with my first. Then it was 8. Then it was 10. Yeah, so
Got worse.
let's wait and see. Rory Sloane re-evaluating his eye, 1 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Mark Keane will be available. I think they'll play him in a couple of weeks' time. He comes straight in. Nick Murray and Harry Schomburg. Crows AGMs tonight, full of announcements. Hopefully a sizable profit.
Yeah.
I want to see numbers in the black. Plenty of black.
Yep,
No
yep.
red, black.
Yep.
An extension of Matty Nick's contract, led to believe. They'll
At the
announce it
AGM?
tonight at the AGM.
Wow.
Why not?
That's big.
Are you hoping, or that's what you
Well,
know?
that's what I've been told by a little birdie that fishes.
Little birdie.
Okay.
A FIVEAA update. We need a FIVEAA update. And the big one, who is the new members-elect director? Is it GG, our man,
Graham
our very own
Goodings?
5AA's GG, father of
Or
Graham Goodings, or Professor Tracy Smart?
Yep. Excellent. All right. So that would have been done and dusted voting.
Done and
right?
dusted.
So that'll
Voting
be announced
finished
tonight.
Friday. Yep.
Yeah, we will know in 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay, there you go.
Hello,
Good boy.
Dennis at Underdale.
Hello, boys. Love your show, Timmy, Rowey. Got three things to run past you. The first two are pretty quick. Webster, I reckon he should get 10.
Ooh.
For the simple reason, there was no excuse. I think he was bloody near out of bounds when he hit him, and he was in the air, such and such. If he didn't knock him out, he should get 8.
Okay.
On the Clarko thing, I think Clarko should get 3 months suspension at least.
Jeez.
No, you listen to the reason why I'm saying it. Now, the Jockey Club here in South Australia just suspended young Balfour for 5 years for half-dacking a steward.
Oh, wow.
Hang on. Hey, back up a bit. What did he do? He pulled down his stacks.
Yeah. Absolutely half-dacked him. Apparently grabbed his trousers and pulled him down.
And he got
Giving
5 years.
5 years. Now, here's another one. Kate Walters, who's a female jockey, called a female steward, a big fat F and so, and she got 5 months suspension. They have got to make an example of someone like Clarko. He's got an anger management.
Hang on, going back to the half-dacky, he got 5 months or 5 years?
5 months.
5 years, Rowey.
Yes, sorry, yeah.
5
Timmy,
years.
5 years. What if he full-decked him?
Oh, 10.
Oh, I don't know.
Hang on, I've got to get this right. So Dennis, is a half-dacky means his pants but his jockeys were still up, or is his jockeys and his pants come down?
No, I don't know. I don't want to go that close, but it was reported on the racing club line that he,
Hang on,
he's
just
got
one more question. Did they end up around his knees or around his ankles? Is that what a half-dacky is?
It's supposed to be a half-dack. How far, I don't know.
That's enough of a ducky.
Hang on, Rowey. You're taking up my time.
Keep going, Dennis.
And the other thing is, I'm really concerned, and I like this kid. I have from the time he stepped into the Crows, Fogarty.
Oh,
He's been there. Is this his 6th year here, Rowey?
Correct way.
Right. Okay. When he came in here, he was good, but he was lost. And I thought, give this kid time. Big had to go into himself. He's had the time. I was at the 2 trial matches, and honestly, that kid is lost. He has not got a football brain. He's a lovely kid and all that. I like him. I don't want to put him down, but
You said he doesn't have a footy brain.
Well, he can't read the game, Rowey. When they put him on the ball, for instance, he's running around like a chook with his head off. He didn't know where to go. Couldn't read the ball. You know, I think they've tried enough for him.
Dennis, thanks. Great work. We'll put you in the running for the $50 Powers voucher and the scooter. D. Fogarty's numbers in his first 50 games were above Nick Rewalt's. There were Jonathan Brown's. There was about 5 of them.
Yeah.
Now, because he's still sitting, if you like, underneath the Taylor Walker's dominance and brilliance and the role, that is his role, Dennis. He'll end up being that player. I loved his game against Port Adelaide, not so much against West Coast.
Yeah, I thought he was good against Port.
His Port game was outstanding, and that's his role. So, Dennis, back him in. He's a ripper, got a great footy brain, love the lad, and let's hope he has a great year.
Let's go to Tyrone at Woodville. Yeah, Tyrone.
Good afternoon, boys. How are we?
Excellent. What's your thoughts on the bump?
That poor Jai Simpson that got concussed and hit. We go back years, and it used to be we used to do the bump. We know the bump is being slowly got out, and now the emphasis is on tackling. So we try and tackle people, but there's a third component of this. And after watching the replay of the incident, what about the smother? He could have smothered that, and it probably would have turned the ball over the boundary line, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation now. But I don't think that we practice or coach smothering enough these days.
I'm with you, Tyrone. I think there's a lot of options there where they could smother. It seems to be something that I don't know that does get practiced a lot. I know that we used to do it every Tuesday and Thursday night. We had to line up and get a smother off the boot before we were allowed to go in. But there was an art to it, and it was an art of getting over the top of it, making sure both arms are there so the ball doesn't get through and hit you in the face, and get your arms right over it and hit it. So, yeah, that is the go.
It's an intense skill.
Yeah.
It's a bit like tackling,
Yeah.
smothering. Some that just love it and are brilliant at it because their intention was great. Tommy Warhurst, you couldn't get around him. He would just smother it or tackle you.
Yeah.
That was his intent, but, others don't give a...
Bit of a lost art, Tyrone.
It's a lost
With
art.
You. With you.
Lost art. Good call, Tyrone. Hello, Ash from Colonel Light Gardens.
Oh, hello. Hello, Rowey. Hello, Tim.
Was he any good, that bloke, Colonel Light? What did he ever do?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, you live in his suburb. You should know everything about him, Ash.
A bit of a prick, actually, because he made sure there was never a hotel in the area.
That's it.
Ah.
You read his history. I
didn't know that.
He got a big statue
Yeah,
up
well,
there.
no,
He was
he
the
didn't
best
want
dude.
one. Fortunately, the RSL still serves beer, so that's all right.
Good on you,
well done, Ash.
Come on, we digress.
And now the new whatever Tonzarama is up the road, so we're laughing.
Good on you, Ash. Come on, old Decker.
Anyway,
get into it.
I thought there was a rule somewhere where if you got X amount of games suspended, you were then banned for life from playing footy. And I thought it was like 18 or something like that.
Yeah, that's in the Adelaide Footy League, the old amateur league.
Oh,
but,
okay.
yeah.
So what is it in the AFL? Because I would have
There isn't
thought,
one.
well, if that bloke, Taron Thomas, is, he's been given 18 and now been sacked by North Melbourne, if they start giving out penalties like 10 and 12 weeks, guys might end up having 2-year careers because they've done one stupid thing.
Yeah, they don't have a maximum number or anything, Ash.
No.
So you could end up clocking up 40 in your career and it won't
Well, then they
stop your career.
might need to look at that, and instead of like suspensions, they're going to have to hit them in the hip pocket. Like you do something like what that bloke did the other day, and we're not talking 10 grand, 20 grand, because it's chump change for these guys. We're talking like literally you've just lost 150 or 200 grand.
Yeah, so they
because you've effectively ruined someone else's career.
Yeah, the AFLPA won't sign that off.
No.
Hit them in the pocket.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges, I
That
think.
is. Ash, you're in the running, mate. Well done.
Well done.
Great call.
I'm going to look up the AFL deregistration policy because I have just looked at it, and it's talking about some detail here around any player who accumulates a total of 16 weeks or more of suspensions over the course of their career could be automatically deregistered and barred from any further participation in the league. Now,
could be.
I will look that up a bit further because that is interesting. We've never really heard anything about that, but that's coming in May 2011.
And it says could be. See, that's
right.
the issue with them. If they're going to, it's almost like they don't want to make a hard and fast
No,
rule
make a
on
rule.
anything.
Well, don't write it down.
Correct. Don't write it down.
They love giving themselves an out.
An
This
out,
mob, this
correct.
AFL.
Because they go, well, hang on, and what if Dusty gets 16?
But that's
that's
it.
no good.
They love negotiated outcomes.
You can't do
I
that.
hope Andrew Dillon changes that mentality.
He might.
I really do.
I'll find out a little bit more about that. In terms of the tribunal right now, St Kilda are arguing, and this is probably the bit that most people are questioning around the size of the ban. St Kilda's Adrian Anderson's argued, and referring to the evolving community standards that are coming out, there has been a massive change in 1 year, not enough to warrant an 8-match ban. What is proposed is a massive, sudden sanction that is out of whack with evolution over time. That might be the one thing that they're starting to at least consider, because so
Very
far
good
the
point.
Saints' argument hasn't been all that flash.
But that's a very good point, and he's actually right.
But Sam
Straight
Pepper's
away?
already got 4 matches.
Yeah.
It's growing, but that would be an exponential leap from where it was 4 weeks from 3, which was what we knew last year. Anyway, continue to have your say, 8223 0000.
AFL wants 8.
They do. 14 minutes to 6. Let's check your roads.
At Glandora crash, Cross Road near Winifred Avenue, Paracombe, another collision there, Gorge Road near Corkscrew Road, and Elizabeth crash, Main North Road near Fairfield Road. Heavy delays back up to Judd Road and Yorktown Road affecting all directions. Slow going South Road at Edwardstown, busy Brighton Road, Brighton with a camera Lonsdale Road at Hallett Cove. From the jeweller that cares, Michael Hill has launched a new foundation that aims to empower 100,000 women and plant up to 1 million trees by 2030. Join them today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Back in '69, Frank Hutchison started a journey when he met Bill King, who ran a remote travel business.
King needed four-wheel drive parts so strong, so reliable, they'd make the return trip after enduring the rigours of the Aussie outback. This forged Terrain Tamer's beginnings. Over 50 years later, Frank and his team continue to innovate and create parts strong enough to survive the toughest terrains on the planet. And best of all, the customer is still king. Terrain Tamer, parts that will get you home.
Hey lads, a guy in the community says he's keen on the roughie in race 7.
Do we trust him?
His username is Big Stats Guy.
Say no more.
Connect and follow tips with a community of like-minded punters, only in Ladbrokes communities. Ladbroke it. What's gambling really costing you?
Idlo and TJM Equip, they had a great weekend raising money for the community and Variety SA with that big
Yes, they did.
Barbie.
Terrific. Well done.
I love businesses like TJM that
give
support
back.
people. They
Community.
just give back. And one of the best ways to see our beautiful country is through the windscreen of a four-wheel drive. And if you want to get there, you got to be TJM Equip.
Correct. Now, everybody loves South Australia. They love hitting the road. It's just awesome. And when you get out there, you go, wow, I'm going to come back because I think this is just too good.
You do. Now, the family behind TJMSA, they sponsor Nettie, who's in the waiting room. We'll be in after 6. He's going to pot BT. That'll be fun. Is Idlo and his family for over 12 years now, since 2012 in actual fact. TJM has been keeping SA's wheels turning off-road since 1990. Now, there are other brands, but this is Australian made. TJM is Australian for Australian conditions.
Yes.
So don't go to the others. Go to the best.
Do you want to be TJM equipped or not?
Well, that's a simple question.
Because.
And my hand's up like a little 5-year-old.
Correct.
Yes, I do.
You want safety and comfort. They're always a priority. You want bull bars. You want suspensions. You want snorkels. You want camping gear. You want roof racks. You want driving lights. Get to TJM.
And they've got a new renovated showroom. Well, it's not as new because it's about 3 months old now, but still new.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Bloody oath it is. Displays and products of Australia's #1 TJM store. It's in Nailsworth in our backyard.
Correct. Get to TJM. They're in Nailsworth and Clovelly Park. They're the major sponsor of tonight's fishing show, 6:30 p.m. with Ned McHenry.
The cost of living keeps rising. Thankfully, so does the sun. That's why more Aussies are getting smart with SolarHeart. Go solar today and get up to $1,000 off a SolarHeart solar power system and battery package. That's right, get up to $1,000 off when you purchase a 5 kilowatt and above SolarHeart solar power system and an eligible Goodwee battery. Lower your energy bills with every sunrise. Get smart. Get SolarHeart. Terms and conditions apply.
More than 17,000 Australians, both young and old, will die from stroke or heart attack caused by hypertension or high blood pressure this coming year. Many could be prevented through early detection. But right now, an Adelaide research team is seeking volunteers for a study to trial a potential treatment. If you've been diagnosed with moderate hypertension and you're between 18 and 72, you could be eligible. Go to fusiontrials.com.au/hypertension or call 08 7077 6996. You will be compensated for your time.
Who can fix the shower?
Service today.
Who can fix the power?
Service today.
Yes, we can, is what we say at Service Today.
Every time you see our bright yellow trucks in your area, we're helping out your neighbours. We can help you too. So for the best plumbing, electrical, heating and cooling work, call Service Today 24/7.
Can you fix the shower? Yes, we can. Can you fix the power? Yes, we can. Yes, we can, is what we say at Service Today.
Call 1300 Service.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
9 minutes to 5. Ned McHenry coming up very shortly. Keep your calls coming in 8223 0000. We'll speak to Mark Bosnich very shortly from Stan Sport. The second legs of the UEFA Champions League round of 16 kick off tomorrow morning from 6:05 Adelaide time with European powerhouses Bayern and PSG both in action. Every match ad-free, live and on demand on Stan Sport. Boz, in just a moment.
We will get Boz. We're taking your calls. 8223 0000. That little half-dacky story is correct.
It is true. 5 years.
Yeah.
For Todd Balfour.
Hello, Tony.
Yeah, that's food for thought, the dacking and all that, gosh.
Jeez. 5 years for pulling someone's pants down.
Well, you'd have a life ban, Rowey, if that was around 20 years ago.
Well, that was one of the funniest things I did was I even did it to Timmy not that long ago. Around his ankles.
He's a bit silly, Tony.
Somebody did it to me at a cricket presentation many years ago, and the words that come out of my mouth didn't augur well for the crowd.
No.
Hey, very interesting, guys, what you brought up about, written in the AFL's rules there at some stage, or inferred that, if you get more than X number of games, you could be... What they need to rewrite that is if you're an interstate club would be, and then if you're a Melbourne club could be, then they maybe need to just say that. I just don't want to fuel the fire.
That's a great call.
Good, Tony.
I will make one more comment that, the guy up at Tribunal, I've just forgotten his name, but he really does need, I'm thinking 8 to 10 to be honest, because there's one, I don't know if it was Peter just commented, but it was prehistoric what happened. If you couldn't see that that's gone out years ago, then you deserve everything you get. And what I frown upon is his family were making comments on social media, laughing at it. Now he's saying, "Oh, my family don't deserve this." Well, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, Tony, great call. You're in the running for that.
Done, Tony.
Scooted from Stormwater.
Yeah, that was in poor taste, wasn't it?
A bit poor taste.
So there was some family members wrote on there, "Good night, Jai Simpkins."
Yeah, good night.
Those sorts of things. Have a good sleep.
Hey, Boz is on the line.
Hey, oh, beauty for Stan Sport. We've got the second legs of the UEFA Champions League round of 16, and we got Boz on the line. G'day, mate. How are you?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Excellent.
Hey, before we get into it...
How hot has it been there today?
Yeah, it's hot, but hey, Boz, you had a heart scare. Are you off the cigars?
Yeah.
I'm going to be brutally honest with you, as I always am. I've had in 3 weeks, I've had 2. So there you go.
All right.
So I could turn around and say the opposite, but that's the bottom line. So I've had 2 over the space of 3 weeks. So in all fairness, even though I've been doing it for we're talking about 20 odd years, that's not a bad effort, but they've got to go. They've got to go. Yeah?
Come on, Boz.
Now, we've got these second legs happening. Who's under the Bunsen burner as far as needing the win?
Well, under the Bunsen burner, look, let's talk about the other game first. The game we're not showing. It'll be on live, but it's not our main game. It's Real Sociedad versus Paris Saint-Germain.
Yep.
Paris Saint-Germain are 2-0 up. They've been in imperious form. They haven't lost in something like 20 games in Ligue 1. Real Sociedad are having a bit of a slump at the moment, 7th in La Liga, not doing particularly well. Paris should see that through quite okay. But if you're talking about Bunsen burner and under pressure, it's got to be Thomas Tuchel and Bayern Munich. Now, about a week and a half ago, Thomas Tuchel and Bayern Munich have both announced jointly that they'll be parting ways at the end of the season. So for all those people who have played for any type of sport and had that situation where the manager's going into the season, that's a very dicey situation. It can sometimes work in your favour, but it can also lead to players not exactly, you could say, sort of towing the line like they would have done if they knew the coach was still going to be there. Now, Bayern Munich are also 10 points off the lead in the Bundesliga. They look as though they're going to lose their first Bundesliga title in close to 12 years. Jeez. So this is really, you have to say, their final opportunity of winning. And they lost the first leg to Lazio, 1-0. So a lot of pressure on them, in my opinion, because if they are still a team that can win this, but to get out at the round of 16 would be an absolute disaster for them. So that's the game we're showing, and that's an absolutely huge game. Like I said, Lazio 1-0 up from the first leg. It won't be easy, although Lazio haven't been, you could say, absolutely flying in Serie A. They're 9th at the moment. They lost on the weekend to AC Milan. Nevertheless, they've got a 1-0 lead. Maurizio Sarri, as people who know him in terms of the manager, is a bit of a genius, and keeping a clean sheet is a bit of a forte of his. So if there's any type of Bunsen burner, it is for Bayern Munich.
And then on Thursday morning, you've got our time, Man City, Copenhagen. They're up 3-1. So then they got them at home. So that will be could be a bit of a nasty one for Copenhagen.
Well, it should be a walkover for City. If Copenhagen do happen to win the tie, and by that I mean by winning by 3 clear goals, it would be, I would say, the biggest upset in European Champions League / European Cup history. But the only thing I will say in favour, or 2 things I'll say in favour of Copenhagen. Number one, they've got nothing to lose, as we just said, because no one's expecting them to win or to do anything. The other thing is Manchester City will be resting players because they've got Liverpool this week at Anfield. And as we know, in that Premier League title race, it's so tight between both them two, Arsenal, And I wouldn't discount Villa at the moment, although they're 8 points behind the leaders, Liverpool, at the moment. So if there is an opportunity where Manchester City will definitely have not half an eye, they'll have an eye on the weekend's game, and that could give the opposition a bit of a leg up. It's this one. But like I said, it's a very difficult proposition, especially in the fact that, Manchester City have lost, I think it's only 3 or maybe 4 games this season, and none of them have been at home as well. So very, very difficult, as it will be for RB Leipzig, who will be going to Madrid to play Real Madrid, 1-0 down from the first leg. The fact that there's no more away goals makes it a little bit easier when you've sort of conceded away goals in the first leg, but nevertheless, it's going to be pretty much an uphill battle for them in that game.
I know Arsenal aren't playing Porto till Wednesday next week, but God, are they having a remarkable run?
Well, absolutely unbelievable. Ever since that, they have a mini winter's break where in England now, where half the teams play 1 week and the other teams play another week, so they can get a bit of a decent break. But I was just looking today, since they've had that little mini break, they've scored. So that's 5 against Palace, 2, that's 7 against Forest. So there's 3 against Liverpool, 10, 6 against West Ham, 16, 5 against Burnley, 21, didn't score against Porto, 4 against Newcastle, 25, and 6 this morning against Sheffield United. So that's 31 goals in 8 games. That's absolutely amazing, you have to say. So they will start as favourites. But in all fairness, in that run I just read out to you, there was one game they didn't score, and that was against Porto. So they'll be very aware of that, and they want to make sure that they get into the quarterfinals. For the other games next week, I mean, you can take your pick of the big games that it's going to be. All 3 games are very close in the first leg. Inter Milan will take a 1-0 lead against Atletico Madrid to Madrid. PSV and Borussia Dortmund will play in Dortmund after drawing 1-1 in Holland. And, of course, Napoli-Barcelona. Going back to Barcelona, Napoli will take a goal. Again, that was that 1-1. So those other 3 games are going to be super tight, and there's a big chance of one of those going all the way to penalties.
Boz, thank you very much for that very, very good report, and we're glad that you're up and about and feeling a lot better, mate.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate your time.
Excellent. Stan Sport, champion Mark Bosnich, and what a great report he gives us every time. And that is getting really interesting, round of 16. I'm really interested to see the results of that. Arsenal, well, they're going in with a 1-0 deficit into the home game, so hopefully they can get on for Treader's sake. I know he's an Arsenal man.
Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m, make sure you're up on Stan Sport. The UEFA Champions League round of 16, second leg. 6 o'clock news time. Keep your calls coming through. 8223 0000. Of course, thanks to Steinborn Automotive, which is always worth the trip. We have that Benzina scooter to give away. Every call that goes to air goes in the running. Ned McHenry to join us next.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly clear tonight, 19. Sunny tomorrow, 33. With the 6 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
The exceptional sale is on at Berkowitz. Save 25 to 50% off all Berkowitz furniture. Ends soon.
An elderly couple remain in intensive care after being pulled from their burning home at Modbury last night. Daughter-in-law Sandrine has told Seven it's been a terrible 24 hours.
We're pretty shocked, as you can imagine, and really want to just be able to do what we need to do to look after the house and to look after them and to make sure that their belongings are secure and in place for them for whatever happens to them next.
And there was a house fire at Evanston Gardens at lunchtime today. It sparked on Grey Crescent. An occupant had to be treated at the scene. A development for Task Force Southern today. 5 people charged in connection to the alleged assault and murder of Robert Atkins have been ordered to stand trial. 29-year-old Mr Atkins was last seen at Port Pirie in November 2020. He was reported missing in January 2021. Quarantine zones have been set up in the northern suburbs following a fruit fly outbreak at Salisbury North. Queensland fruit fly has been confirmed in the area. Purse's Nick Seacombe says a letterbox drop will be followed up by face-to-face visits.
And then our staff will be knocking on people's doors to let them know that there's a fruit fly outbreak in the area and what they need to do. Our teams will be applying fruit fly bait to the area every week, in some cases twice a week, to make sure we can attract the fruit fly to that bait and eradicate it quickly.
The ex-husband of Kathleen Folbig has died less than a year after she was pardoned over the deaths of their 4 children. Clinton Maynard reports.
Craig Folbig was rushed to a Hunter Valley hospital over the weekend and has died from a heart attack. He was also suffering cancer. The 55-year-old's ex-wife Kathleen spent 20 years behind bars over the deaths of their 4 children, but was pardoned and released from jail last year. Mr Folbig's lawyer says he maintained that his children had been murdered. Last year he expressed his frustration with the decision to issue a pardon. The deaths occurred between 1989 and 1999, but advances in technology led to inquiries finding there was reasonable doubt.
Matildas fever is on its way to Adelaide. The Premier has been talking up their game against China at Adelaide Oval on May 31. Tickets go on sale on Friday. Peter Malinauskas says it's a big deal for SA.
The Matildas have been performing to sell-out crowds across the country, and South Australia was never going to miss out on that opportunity. So to be able to have the Matildas performing on prime time on a Friday night at the best sporting venue in the nation is an opportunity too good to miss, but is now one that is available to South Australians and Australians writ large.
The Matildas head coach admits he was only made aware of allegations against captain Sam Kerr today. The 30-year-old made a brief appearance in a London court, pleading not guilty to charges of racially aggravated harassment of a police officer. Tony Gustafsson is confident the matter won't impact on the rest of the squad ahead of Olympic preparations.
I think they've shown in the past that when there's been things around them that could potentially disturb the team, I think they have been very good at focusing on their why and what they stand for and how they want to play football. So in that sense, I think the team is going to be very professional this time around as well.
Now turning to 5AA sport, the AFL is pushing for an 8-game suspension for St Kilda's Jimmy Webster as he faces the Tribunal over his bump which concussed North's Jai Simpkin. Webster has given evidence saying there's no excuse for jumping off the ground and he got it wrong in that split second. He admits he could have slowed down but not changed direction. The Tribunal is now deliberating. Well, Richmond star Dustin Martin is dealing with a corked calf just days out from his side's opening round clash, putting him in doubt to play Gold Coast. The Tigers are preparing to face their former coach Damien Hardwick on Saturday. Dion Prestia believes knowing how Hardwick works will give them the edge over the Suns.
Yeah, I think so. I'm sure there'll be some tweaks in there and there'll be different personnel going through all that, but you can kind of see similarities to what we did for so long, and yeah, I kind of feel like it might give us a little bit of an edge.
And Jason Kelsey, brother of Travis, has officially retired from the NFL with an emotional 45-minute speech. He spent 13 seasons with the Eagles. Now checking 5AA traffic.
No better time or place to jump in at Jayco than at Jayco Adelaide's brand new West Beach dealership.
Breakdown at Wingfield to look out for. It's on the north-south motorway near the Port River Expressway. Fulham Garden to break down there too. Tapless Hill Road near Grange Road. Crash at Glandor slowing things up for the drive home. Crossroad at Winifred Avenue. And we're slowly going Tapless Hill Road at Glenelg North. Cameras Main South Road at Halloran Hill. Whites Road at Paralawi. Uni Super is open for every Australian. Awarded most satisfied members by CanStar. Uni Super makes greater super easier. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
To 5AA weather.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
19 tonight, mostly clear. Sunny tomorrow, 33. The same on Thursday, then Friday, 36. Right now, it's 32 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Thank you, I'm Brenton Raglas. Tonight's headlines: Sam Kerr charged with racially harassing a police officer in London as Adelaide is confirmed as the venue of a Matildas game in May. Private health insurers get the green light to hike premiums. A warning to parents over zero alcohol drinks. And an autumn heatwave now forecast for Adelaide over the coming days. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
It's Edward here from Edward's Town Mazda.
I can't tell the time yet, but I know it's running out to save on a 2023 Platoon Mazda. If you come in now, you'll get the best deal ever on all 2023 Mazdas. I pinky promise. And remember, Edwardstown Mazda is the #1 destination for Mazda in SA. Numo umero, baby. Now play that jingle thing. It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda.
You've heard the phrase seeing is believing. Well, we do believe it at Rossdale Homes, especially if you're searching for your dream home. Don't just browse floor plans and virtual tours. Experience the real deal at our display villages. Walk through the home, feel the space, appreciate our finishes, and see the latest design trends. Don't just imagine your future home. Experience it for real at Rossdale Homes. For locations and open times, visit rossdalehomes.com.au because trust is a must.
Join Care Alert's Safety Snippets, safeguarding our seniors, one tip at a time. Brought to you by Mike and Darren.
Darren, today let's talk about protection from financial scams. So what can our seniors do to safeguard their finances?
The main point is to never share personal information over the phone or online, especially passwords and banking details.
Yeah, great advice. How about recognising potential scams?
Always be wary of unsolicited calls or emails and verify the source of who's contacting you.
Yep, so it's all about staying vigilant and, if you're unsure, ask a family member to help you out.
And of course, always remember, you could have your own free Care Alert GPS alert system through your My Aged Care or NDIS funding. Visit carealert.com.au for details.
That's another safety tip brought to you by Care Alert, Australia's #1 personal alert system.
The deals are coming. Get ready because Afterpay Day is back, baby. March 14 to 17 is go time with up to 70% off top brands. Paid in full with Afterpay, in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Visit afterpay.com for full terms.
Hearing Australia's Hearing the Nation tour is coming to Adelaide, delivering free hearing checks for adults. Search Hearing the Nation for more.
Hearing Australia.
Conditions apply under the Australian Government Hearing Services Program.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
9 minutes after 5. Of course, you can watch on the Foodland live stream. We're on Facebook and YouTube at the minute. Ned McHenry's here with more stores close to home and everyday low prices. Great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies. And just before we get to Ned, the Tribunal we've been following the whole way through, Jimmy Webster, is facing a possible 8-game ban. That's what the AFL has put forward in the Tribunal. They've been deliberating for almost 20 minutes now. There's every chance this will go for more than an hour and a half like Sam Pepper last week, so could be waiting till 7:30 for a result.
Good on you, Neddy. Welcome, mate.
Hello, Rowey. Hello. Hello,
Jimmy.
everyone. Timmy, Sammy.
Hello.
Yeah, say hello to those two. It's not just you, mate.
Oh,
You just calm down over there. And back to you. Come on.
This is from the awkward uncle to the favourite uncle to the smart ass.
You still haven't got past that. Come on, what have you got for me now? Some hard-hitting question, no doubt.
Jimmy Webster, how many?
Oh, I don't know enough about this. I'm guessing it's going to be pretty big. It's going to be more than Sam Pepper, and he got, how many? 4 weeks? 4. Yeah, so it's going to have to be probably 5 or 6 weeks.
Okay, you're a modern-day player. Can you believe that happens in our game?
I can believe it because I play the game and so many others do, and it moves quickly and you have to make decisions all the time and make quick decisions, and it's not as easy as it looks on field. Like when we review our games and you see some of your decision making or your execution, you think, what am I doing here? There was a clear option or there was a gap to drive through, and you go, why couldn't I just see that at the time? But everything moves so quickly. You both played. I mean, you know what it's like at times.
It's not a remote control, is it?
No, it's not as
people think they're
simple as
gaming.
that.
Yeah.
No.
I just put it there, but no.
Mind you, horrible look. I mean, AFL House, their heads would have just been absolutely spinning when that happened. My goodness.
Brayshaw, Sam Pepper,
terrible
then
timing.
that.
Yeah.
What about Alistair Clarkson then? He comes out, protects his players.
I loved it. I said to someone today, I don't know Alistair Clarkson at all. I don't have any involvement with their footy club. But I reckon when a coach comes in and backs up their players like that and Look, it was crossing the line. I know people feel really strongly about it, but I'm a bit the other way. Like, I think that emotion in your coach and when someone gets behind something like that, I find it really quite inspiring in a way. It's probably not appropriate, but I actually didn't mind it.
Yeah, okay.
Thoughts? What, do you disagree on that, or what do you think?
No, I'm with you. I'm a bit old school, but if it offends, it offends. A bit like Taylor Walker. It offended 6 weeks.
It's a choice of words thing at the end of the day.
Sorry, and I should be clear on that. I actually have no idea what he said.
So he came forward with a homophobic slur, which is why he's facing the fire. Now, but what you're saying is if he had used language...
Ned, that's different.
Well, here I am. Now I'm going to be associated with those comments, like Ned's endorsing it. No, I actually had no idea what he said.
No, that's correct. But you're saying
pardon.
A defence of his...
Yes.
You like the fact that he's trying to defend his players.
Well, he was emotional about his player.
that
he cares about so much. It's his co-captain. So I beg your pardon. I didn't know.
How he went about it.
Well, you've probably not heard the racial slur, but I'll let you know what it is. It
wasn't a racial slur.
Homophobic slur.
I had no idea what he said. All I saw was I saw it yesterday. Yeah.
I'm pointing there and I'm going sucker.
Yep. Keep that camera on us.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Stephen. Okay.
Roddy Philthorpe.
Yes.
How many weeks?
Expand on it.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have a knee op tomorrow.
Yep.
A little clean out. They won't know till they get in the arthroscope to see what they're dealing with. But at the best, it's a month. The worst, it's 8. Might fall somewhere in the middle. It's the last player I wanted to see injured.
No. Well, yeah. I don't want to see anyone get injured, particularly from our team. But someone as brilliant as Rowey, and he's worked so hard this pre-season. Everyone's been so positive around his form and how he's playing, so it's so disappointing. And I know he's feeling disappointed, but to his credit, for a young guy who is in excellent form, as I said, and to get injured like that, he's bounced into the club, he's getting around everyone, he's doing our review as a whole group. He's just in great spirits. So in terms of character, there's just not much better than him.
So is it Himmelberg to replace him? Is it Strawn to replace him? Is it a Small that replaces him? Is it a Gallant who replaces him? Or is it the new Rooster that we got from Gold Coast?
I have absolutely no idea, Rowey. I'm just busy. I'm just trying to work out my own stuff over here. I'm just trying to get a game myself. So I have no idea. That'll be a coach thing. They'll all sit around in their match committee and sit in there for 3 or 4 hours and go round and round in circles. I can't believe how long they spend in match committee. What's the longest meeting you blokes would do before a show?
Look, I know where you're going. I have been on selection meetings. And unfortunately, where the majority of the time normally is spent is the interchange.
Yeah, right.
A lot of time gets spent on the interchange. And that sometimes you sort of look at each other and go, wow, we just spent an hour working out who's on the bench.
And they do what-ifs and all of that. Ned, Murph, Ned, Murph, Ned, Murph.
Well,
there's heaps of those. I could do 10 of them.
Well, of course. I said on the show, I think it was last week or the week before, I tried to explain to people just how full-time our job is and how many meetings and how much analysis goes into it. Like, our coaches work so hard and for so long, and they watch footy from behind the goals for hours. And I don't say that lightly. Like, I'm talking hours. Like, our line coach, Scotty Burns, will come in with 25 clips from you, and that's just one single player. He's got probably 10 or 12 forwards to look after. It'd have to take him 4 or 5 hours after a game.
Well, we know we've had Scott Camporeale on here, and he'll be coming back next week on Tuesdays for Unique Homestyle Foods. But he actually said the one thing he did not miss was
coding.
Doing all the coding.
The coding, yeah. I think the AFL could actually go back to part-time. This is one of my views, and I don't necessarily think it's correct, but it's what I feel. I think the product of the AFL for a viewer would be stronger if we move back to a part-time model, because we spend so much time at the club doing this analysis and focus on defence around restricting opposition and limiting what they can do. It's if we all, had a separate job and rolled in at 5 o'clock and had to train and gym and then do one team meeting and put the big eggs in the cup or the big rocks in the cup, you'd still be able to go out there and perform. And I think the actual product of the game, as a spectacle, from a viewer's perspective, would actually be better.
You should have been born in the 60s.
Yeah.
That's what used to happen.
That is
basically what happened.
Well, hold that thought, because BT said this. We nearly had a brain explosion by Captain TJ.
I'm just wondering whether, if players have concussions in their first years of football, first 1, 2, 3, 4 years, whether that should be it for them. Whether from that point on...
Wow.
The AFL should look at them and say, I'm sorry, but this game is probably not for you.
Lads. Now, I was listening to that when I was driving in. I drive down the street. It's got the OTR on the left. What's that street? I come through the city, down from Unley Road. It's got OTR. Do you know what that one is? Whatever that is. And I potter through there and I listen to you boys and I just think, what am I going to talk about on the fishing show? And I love BT, so BT was on. And I caught that and I thought, BT, what the heck are you talking about? That is the most ridiculous comment. I don't even understand that at all because I think in the media now, with concussions, it's become so... Everyone is so scared of concussions. And it's fair enough. I've seen one of my great mates, Paul Seedsman, suffer from concussion. And
I saw him at the game.
His symptoms have been so disastrous. And I do not want to be insensitive or... Exactly. Not at all. But when I say ridiculous is what I felt about what BT said, I truly mean that because... The reality is 95% of people, or 99% of people have a concussion and treat it as an injury, go through the protocols, and return to playing and training as normal, Timmy. So it needs to be treated like an injury. And just that, I had probably 4 to 5 concussions in AFL games in my first 3 or 4 years. And I responded, back from them as normal and feel completely normal. So if we're going to go down that path when one of our absolute gun
by
players...
that theory, you'd be retired.
Absolutely. Well, that's what I'm saying. So let's not use concussions in general as being so bad that players can't play. Let's talk about the outcome from that concussion. And if the symptoms are serious enough, of course they've got to be pulled away. But it's the symptoms from the concussion, not the concussion itself. Yeah. Because concussions are going to happen when people are colliding into each other at 100 miles an hour, Timmy.
You're right, though. It's the fear of what's happening at the moment. It's the litigation. It's all of that happening and the continued cases and bumps that we're seeing and guys that are suffering 3 and 4 in short periods of time that is it's spooking everybody.
I get it, Timmy. And it's a little bit ironic because we're sitting here in the media, but I feel like the media is pushing this fear with concussion in a sense. That I really do feel like that. And, I just don't want to...
fear what you don't know.
Well, I know, and we don't know enough about it, but... look, I just think concussions are a reality in our sport unless we completely change the game, and that's not going to happen in the short term. So let's have, a perspective on, let's learn more about concussion. Yes, if the symptoms are really serious, of course, take correct action. But my goodness, concussions are going to happen. There's going to be how many this year, Timmy?
Football collisions.
15, 20? There's going to be concussions this year.
That's one of the things we spoke to Jimmy Bartell about was last year. He said there's got to be room for football-related collisions. Now, that's not what we saw on the weekend with the Webster incident. What he's talking about is it could be a contest in marking or something like that, and you might cop a concussion from that. Could be your own mate that's done it, but you've got to have room for that.
But you're a courageous player. You play on the red line, Nettie. You'd have teammates that would be spooked by this.
Spooked by...
Well, they've got kids. They're worried about CTE, that dreadful word. They're worried that, they might end up like Seed. We've got Seed sitting right next to us. We've seen it, smelt it, touched it, and we can see it. He's still getting migraines.
I know. Yeah, it is really serious when you put it like that. I probably maybe generalised it a touch too much, but I just feel passionate about our game, and I just don't see it changing.
Don't change.
I don't see it changing as quickly as what people expect it to compensate for this. So, we're going to have to learn to live with the beast a little bit. The beast isn't going away with the way we play.
Unique homestyle food text. This is from Paul. Did the team play better versus Port or West Coast Eagles?
Yeah, good question. I think we have a lot to improve on from both games. It was around stoppage that we spoke about after that Port game, so we wanted to try and fix that area up a little bit with a few of our stoppages and position on the ground with those stoppages, and we felt like we did that against West Coast, but we reviewed the game pretty closely, and we still feel like there's a lot of upside and a lot of things we can do better. So
Riley O'Brien's ruck work.
He was awesome, wasn't he?
That was the best ruck display I've seen from him.
He's brilliant. He's so fit. He's in such a good space. And for someone who doesn't know anything about Riley or what he's about, he's done a biomed degree. He's done a master's in some neuroscience. He's going to be a doctor post-footy. He's a vice captain of the footy club. He's got to be one of the most well-connected blokes within the playing group. He's mates with everyone. He's just such an amazing guy. So to see him playing the way he is, it's just awesome.
But can't fish.
No, well, he can't fish. He has a good crack at it, though, Rowey. A little bit like you. What have you been doing? Have you been out yet? Can we talk about a bit of fishing, please?
Oh, that's one of the most
We're going to take a
derogatory things
Get on the Foodland live stream. You're going to see a 58-year-old fat man get an elite footballer in a suplex hold off the top turnbuckle. I can't fish.
Yeah, that was insane.
We'll be addressing that with the recreational fishing licence.
You can fish, you just can't catch, mate. There's a difference between fishing and catching, isn't there? You can go out there and hold a rod in your hand all day if you want, buddy.
Have you not? Have you, Tim? Have
Fighting
you not?
words.
So when I send you a photo with me with a big tune or a big nanny or a big kid, you don't reckon I caught that?
You did catch it. You caught it on my marks, though, didn't you, big fella? I'm only being silly, Stephen. I know you're a good fisherman, but you're just so easy to wind up. Look at you over there.
You know, on air I have a bit of a take the tape with Caro, and
I know.
we love to hate each other.
Yep.
You're getting down that.
You know what it is?
Something's brewing.
You've overstepped the line.
21 minutes after 6. Keep your calls coming in, 8223 0000 more, and then next.
Rowey and Timmy G on the FIVEAA Sports Show.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, the Lynn Andrews team have made it easy for landlords to manage residential and commercial property. From single homes to multiple commercial holdings, our passion for property investment means we have a great deal of knowledge. How to do it safely and properly, matching the right tenant with the right property every time. We're here to help you. Visit lynandrews.com.au.
How awesome! Mawson Lakes Volkswagen has plenty of Tiguans and Amaroks in stock. Tiguan Allspace is a 7-seater with plenty of room and plenty of smarts featuring auto park, adaptive cruise control and lane assist. And the latest generation Amarok has a big 1-ton payload and 3.5-ton towing capacity. But inside, you'll get all the comforts of a luxury vehicle. There's plenty of stock that must go. Hurry in for a deal. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. It's raining free tiles at National Tiles. Yes, National Tiles are giving away free tiles for the month of March. At National Tiles, buy 3 square metres of almost all of our tiles, laminate or timber flooring, and we'll give you 1 square metre absolutely free. No catches, no gimmicks, but you'll have to be quick. So rush into National Tiles for your free tiles, laminate or timber flooring now before it's too late. Conditions apply.
There are many joys that come with growing older, and Arbor Vitae helps you optimise these joys. Arbor Vitae is an anti-inflammatory supplement made from natural ingredients like pycnogenol, enzyme papain from the papaya fruit, aloe vera and honey. It helps to reduce mild arthritis, relieve other joint pain, and helps to maintain healthy blood glucose, cholesterol levels and cognitive functions. For Tracy from New South Wales, Arbor Vitae has saved her career. She's a cake maker by trade and suffered with sore hands for years. After trying Arbor Vitae, all her pain disappeared and she thanks Arbor Vitae for saving her career. Optimise your life and visit arborvitae.com.au. Remember, always read the label and follow the directions for use. Stocked in chemists and health food stores all over Adelaide.
We're the boys from the bush. Lee Koenigen's new tour, Boys from the Bush, the concert, is heading to Adelaide for one night only at the Hindley Street Music Hall on Friday, 19th April. Lee will perform all the hits and all your favourites in a spectacular new production that features his hot new band. Don't miss Australia's own country music legend, Lee Koenigen, and his special guests at the Hindley Street Music Hall on Friday, 19th April. Book now on ticketmaster.com.au.
Hearing Australia's Hearing the Nation tour is coming to Adelaide, delivering free hearing checks for adults. Search Hearing the Nation for more.
Hearing Australia.
Conditions apply under the Australian Government Hearing Services Program.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
The FIVEAA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
25 minutes after 6. Hey, racing action returns to the Dragway at the Bend, April 5 to 7. You can go to thebend.com.au, but if you'd like a double 3-day pass to the Riverbend Nationals, we have that for you right now. 8223 0055. Call in. First listener can win that. Some news from the Crows AGM. We have a winner in the Members Elect Board race.
Following the result, I can announce that Graham Goodings has been re-elected. Graham gained the most votes and he'll serve a 2-year term. Congratulations, Graham, on continuing on the board.
Well done, Gigi. Have you met him?
I have met him. Good fella.
Yeah.
Shook his hand down at the cafe the other day. So he was a really nice guy.
Father of Will?
Yes.
Our very own?
He did stuff on the breakfast show for a bit, didn't he? Or,
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
gun.
It's reading breakfast at the moment. Yeah.
Okay,
Now,
Gun.
that's the number one announcement. We want a profit. We got any news on that?
We'll find that out a little bit
Is
later.
Nixie going to get signed tonight?
Don't know.
And what's happening with Thebby? Recreational fishing licence.
Yes.
It's in the news.
It just peeked its little ugly head up again. Well, it's not ugly. It's worth the conversation, but it is ugly when we go round and round in circles. I feel like that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
You agree or not?
Oh, look, I'd do it if I knew every cent went towards us fishos and boat ramps and conditions, and we generate over $1 billion, don't we?
That's what we're saying. So for context, Timmy, the frustration with fishos is that we don't feel like the revenue created from fishing is being put back into fishing. So the simplicity of just introducing a fishing licence now and creating more revenue, well, that's not solving any
Just
issue.
goes into general revenue.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't there an app that was going to be added to it as a suggestion as
Oh, my
well?
goodness.
And then you count what you do and all that, and then somebody said, look, that will really put off interstaters coming over and having a recreational fish in our waters.
Well, I can't see anyone my age or above doing that.
No.
Ever.
No.
And
Nettie will, because you're technically sound.
So it doesn't matter if I can and will.
But
It's
does
got
it
to be
take
accessible
away-
for everyone.
But does it also take it away from just the joy of
The actual
fishing?
natural experience, yeah. I'm big on, if there are bag limits in place and what you do is legal, right? If you're doing something that is legal, you should be fine to do it. So if I can go out there and legally catch my whatever whiting, right, or do whatever, or I can go out and catch my 30 squid or whatever it is, 15 squid. So if I can do that, then why on earth do I have to regulate or put it into an app or do any of that or help them collect that data, Timmy?
We're doing their job for them.
No, it's absolute crap. It's crap.
How much are they talking?
What, in terms of what the actual...
The money, how much? 100,
No,
90,
it gets
80,
floated
45?
at different levels, yeah.
Do they have one in Victoria?
Yes, they do.
What's that worth?
I think it's $60, I
Is it
think,
working?
from memory.
But
Well,
is that connected to the ramps or not, or just the licence?
they don't have any ramp fees, Timmy.
No ramp
So
fees.
no ramp fees.
That's the difference. They have a licence but no ramp
They've got no
fees.
ramp
Yeah.
fees, but we go to the ramp and pay $12 down at West Beach or whatever it is. But what's happening in Victoria, Timmy, is they are absolutely flying from a fisheries perspective. They've got fish stocking going on. Their species are all in really, really good health, but it's not as simple as just the fishing licence doing that. It's actually what they're proactively doing to sort that fishery out. I don't know if you agree, Rowey. What do you think?
Oh, look, I do, and we've got to get better, and I think we are. We've got the right people in the right seats and the right people looking after it as custodians. I mean, I had a mate text me the other day, took his two daughters down to my Ponga reservoir and caught about I don't know, it was about a 40 centimetre Murray cod.
Oh, fantastic.
I mean, that's...
The reservoirs are
So
brilliant.
they put some fishlings in there, and they're now growing, and you've got to catch and release, but God, that's exciting for me.
Yeah. No, the reservoirs are great. In terms of a
They
consistent option, Timmy, if I was going to say to you,
Fantastic.
take the kids down or whatever, take the grandkids down
Guaranteed
or
catch.
the great-great-grandkids in your case, if you took... if you were going to take them down and wanted some consistent fishing, Timmy, the reservoirs are your best option.
You've moved off a Rowey and onto me.
He does that.
I've had my fun with old mate over here.
That's how he plays,
No,
too.
no.
We'll look forward to the fishing show. TJM Equip brings us Ned McHenry. Fantastic.
It comes up next.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
It is funny to think that just over 2 years ago, the extent to which Stephen Marshall was pilloried as the bread and circuses guy for saying we need a